All right. To another day. Let's do this. So, how did I get to this? We're going to go straight there before I even say the title of what I'm talking about today and what I'm trying to decipher, trying to figure out. How did I get to this? I realized very quickly and very early after I was pushing my last topic that I was discussing that we each have strings that tie us to things that pull us and push us in certain directions that make us do or not do. And after reconsuming it, after reinterpreting it, after understanding it, I came to the realization that it was one of my best works so far. I say that every single time because it's true, but it was explained and pieced together in such a way that it made me realize that if I could get people to understand this, then I could start getting them to start branching out. Essentially, it was a topic that could destroy all the roots and the vines and the chains and the things, right? The strings. We were cutting all the strings to free them to just become who they always were meant to be. So I started realizing that I walked down some paths intentionally, by the way, to see if I could force myself to experience that feeling that I know everyone else is feeling when they encounter something that either makes them do more, perform better, or walk away and perform worse. So I was self creating situations to make myself experience that. And I was destroying all of them as they popped up. You guys understand that I'm saying if right now I'm like, hey, I'm going to drink some coffee, but it's cold or warm, and I always blow before I drink warm coffee because I'm worried I'm going to burn myself. I'm like, can I just take a sip right away? Like maybe that's what I'm talking about when I say intentionally creating scenarios to feel that way. So when I started doing that, though, I started quickly coming to the realization of what were the optimal paths because I had already developed all these skill sets. I'd already figured out all of this stuff previously. You guys understand? I wasn't really progressing anymore. I was now just recreating optimal because I knew how to do so. And there were some still, I figured out a way that even when I was recreating, even when I was reinterpreting, so just so people understand what I'm saying is I streamed, I created a full video that uh, discussed knowledge that was extremely valuable, new. And then I was starting to break it down. And then I was starting to release it in video format. I did essentially no edits, but I just added a little bit of music, some captions, and then I was reinterpreting it in a written format and adding additional comments as well. So think of it as just reinforcement. I was adding more reinforcement and another perspective to it. And it's all extremely valuable, especially if someone consumes the video, reads the post, and then reads all the comments. Do you guys understand that? That means that they had essentially the main focus, and then they had main reinforcement, and then they had three side takes that can help them get to the answer. Because sometimes what you guys all realize is that when we're doing something, when we're doing a climb, when we're progressing on something, we start figuring it out, but usually we get stuck somewhere and then we don't know how to get further. Like there's just like something blocking us. And that's what really a climb is. Do you guys understand that we start progressing? And as we're doing that, the reason why we can't move on is because we haven't learned something yet, usually. Sometimes we are getting blocked, and that's a different discussion, right? And that's when we might need a resource or need a tool, or we might just need to walk a different path. Those are all valid as well. Or we just are being stopped and there's nothing we can do, right? So those are all options. But what I'm saying is that for most of us, we just get stuck. There's something that we're missing, or there's something that we didn't explore. There's something that we didn't realize we could do, or that we could gain, or maybe it goes against our values and we don't want to add something that would make it easier, then we can overcome it. And that's fine. You guys understand that means we can't progress further. Yet what I was realizing is that I I created a scenario for myself where I was trying to give people all of that. And that's amazing. Do you guys understand? Because that means that all those people would get it. But hear what I'm saying. I did it for others. And I did get more traction. I got more feedback, meaning a progress metric that showcased my results. That, hey, actually, I think more people are getting it. I think people are actually resonating with this because I'm not going to say dumbed down, but I just want to mean like I just explained it in a different way that didn't scare people off because these are very complex topics. So if it's broken down in such a way that you can conceptualize it, well, then it doesn't seem so scary anymore. So it was all of that was good, right? You guys understand? That means now I'm starting to focus on optimal. Now I'm starting to focus more on because I already knew this path, but then now I also just reinforced it. Now I started to believe that it was determining like change, that was determining my worth. I'm telling you, what I started noticing is that I was getting pushed. I was getting encouraged by, I call them, there's something else in this world that's pushed things into us to make us do or create a certain way. And all of a sudden, I'm like, the main focus of what I was talking about, the main goal of what I want people to do is to watch the video, the stream, and to get all the knowledge and then to keep exploring, to keep seeking, to keep progressing, to keep moving forward, to keep creating new in their own life. Yet then I'm like, wait a minute, I'm recreating right now. And I was like, it's fine. I'm doing this in between until I get to the next point where I get a lesson and then I'll create something again. So I was still protecting myself. Do you guys understand? I was still creating new, but it wasn't the same. I got addicted to the fuel rather than the story. And what's the story? The story is, what is the main outcome? What am I actually trying to accomplish? What am I trying to accomplish? I'm trying to accomplish that I keep learning, I keep growing, I keep trying to figure out better ways to fight back against how the world is currently designed to see if we can change how everything operates. Because for far too long, all of us have accepted that this is just how the world is and there's nothing we can do. And I'm saying there's nothing further from the truth. And then I just wanted people to heal, to be free, and to see things. But then I'm like, so I had connected A to B, which was to get people to B, they need to consume it. How do people consume it? Well, I need to focus on creating basically marketing, reaching out to people, helping people, guiding people to make them be more inclined to consume my content so that they can learn. At no point, do you guys understand? At no point is my storyline goal, my end, have anything to do with money, have anything to do with a personal reward, right? Like, I would love to get a girl. I would love to have a kid again and a family and a pet and all that stuff like that and explore the world and hopefully, right? But you see, like, all of a sudden, oh, right, that's the person. I'm like, that's not, I wasn't even doing it for that anymore. Way back when, I was like, I hope it could start leading me down a path of that. But I broke that, right? I've destroyed money. I don't care about that at all. I'm like, I'm not doing that at all for this. I don't even care if people just take my stuff anymore and spread it as their own knowledge. You guys understand? Like, I had to destroy that too, because that happens to each and every one of us when we're creating. So I was like, what is going on? Like, why do I care so much that they get to that? I'm like, oh my gosh, they reinstalled this addiction to the small progress metrics, which really boils down to I was getting baited to care that other people consume my stuff. At no point did I care how many followers I get. At no point did I care if I become like a trusted leader, a voice of reason, right? Like, you guys understand? There was nothing in it for me. I'm saying that because the reason, just so people understand, the reason why I can say that and defeated all those things, because most of us get stuck there, right? We do it for ourselves, and we should create for ourselves. But why are we doing it? What's the storyline we're walking toward? And most of us get stuck there. I'm saying the way you destroy that is by focusing on progress. If I focus on progress right now, it means that there's always small little changes that happen throughout the day, throughout everything we do, throughout how I stream, throughout how I make videos, throughout how I create, throughout how I talk, throughout how I figure things out, throughout how I piece things together, throughout how I act the next day when the same situation occurs. You guys understand there's no mistakes if you're always progressing, because you just are like, okay, that happened. Well, this time I'm going to do this. Like, for example, now I'm realizing what, just so you guys realize why I did this, I'm realizing that no matter what, I have to be extremely careful when I bring in back anything external, because now I see how they do it. But I need to just keep doing these little talks. As they can be short or they can be extremely long, it doesn't matter. But they just have to be something like this. And I have to do it as often as possible whenever I discover something new. It has to be done through this format until they try to stop it, and then I have to deviate. But do you guys get it? That's just how it is. That's what I've come to the conclusion to. Why? Because I'm moving forward. I'm progressing. But do you guys see, like, that's my now answer. So I still learned something new. But what got me to be able to do this is I realized I just have to keep progressing. So if I'm just progressing, I don't care if I'm gonna get a money reward. I don't care if people are like, you are literally the healer. You're my Jesus, essentially, because you saved myself and my family. We were struggling so much after I lost my job and I didn't know what to do. And we were just getting into conflict, and there were so many problems happening. We started caring about money, and like we were going to run out of money and all this stuff like that. And we listened to you. We read your comment on a whim randomly. We saw it, and then we watched your thing, and everything just clicked. And now we are doing so much better. How can we ever repay you? And I'm like, don't, just thrive, please. Teach others, make them realize that what I'm saying is not, I'm not getting anything out of it. For me, I want the world to be better. I want you guys get it? But you see, that's my goal, right? That was my end storyline. Like, what's the main purpose for doing this? I'm like, just to heal people, to think so that things can actually change, because we can't change anything until people are healed. It's just not possible. Just so people understand, that's really what it boils down to. If you're not healed today, you're never going to allow change to happen in your area. It's just impossible. It's just not possible. So that's what led me to all of this. So that's how I destroyed everything, through progression. I thought it was the answer. It is. But then I realized, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm so good at learning anything now. Just so you guys understand, if you piece together everything I'm saying, if you've been following along my journey and you've been also deconstructing and taking notes and then reinterpreting it for yourself and making the seeking, but making it your own, you're going to have very similar skill sets as I do now, which is you just can see the vision. You just understand things. The moment you do something, you don't immediately choose the optimal approach. You can, but you're like, well, I see, I need that to counter that. I need this to avoid this. I need this to do this. Oh, this is a really good path. People can react well to this. People respond well to this. Oh, maybe we should avoid this. Maybe I should add in a little bit of this. And if I do all that and piece them all together, then I can create a pretty smooth path that there's not going to be a lot of interruptions and problems, because, well, things just work. And I'm saying you guys are going to get to that point where anything new that you try, since you're not worried about the first attempt, speaking of, let's make a quick intentional mistake. I'm going to throw some ham into my coffee, just because if you make an early mistake, then and you don't recreate it from last time, well, then what's the problem? I'm going to throw it in there and I'm going to try to drink it. Oh, turns out it's not easy to drink ham and coffee because it sinks. That means I'm going to get that piece of ham that I just threw into my coffee at some point throughout this video. I don't know when, but it's going to be funny because it's going to interrupt me and I'm going to remember this point. Do you guys see how something like that could even help me? Why did I do that? Because everything from this point forward isn't going to change. You guys get it? How I talk about things and what I'm going to talk about, those things are always going to deviate a little bit. But why I'm doing it isn't going to change. Do you guys understand why I'm doing this one for myself? Yet at the same time, that goal, that storyline goal of that I want people to be healed, still is there. It hasn't changed. You see, I'm not focusing at all right now on small little progress metrics whatsoever, except my own created ones. I'm like, can I do this? Can I talk about these things? Can I explain these extremely complicated topics through the stories that I'm going to use today? I'm like, yeah, I can, and I'm going to. It's going to be fun. Yeah, I'm saying what got me to that is I realized that they were weaponizing progress. I'm telling all of you it's the answer to save yourself from everything that controls you, from everything that makes you do or not do, that everything that stops you and lets you remember who you are, what you're capable of. You don't give up your worth to other people. You realize that the first attempt isn't a mistake. You realize you just start identifying things. You can see the full vision. So that means that you're like, you also don't need to rush to the answer because you're not worried about getting to the answer. I'm like, well, I don't need to use the best things right away because I know that I could if I wanted to. Do you guys get it? If you know what the best things are because now you see the vision, that means if at any point I want to win, I could do so. This is a very difficult concept for people to understand because they don't operate that way. Most of you are just trying to survive day by day because you haven't embraced the progress approach yet. And then when you have, what they do is they bait you immediately, they weaponize it. So then all the benefits of progression vanish. That's what I came to realize in this last week when I was creating Optimal to get more people to consume my stuff. I realized, wait a minute, all the benefits of progression vanish if you start doing what I was doing. And I'm like, wait, this is what pretty much everyone is doing. Do you guys see? This is how I get to my answers. I explore. I'm doing, even if I'm telling you that I was making what I now consider mistakes, they really weren't bad. They were considered the optimal play. They were, if anything, they were getting more I was getting more eyeballs on my stuff so more people could heal. And I'm telling you guys, it was a mistake. And I'm telling you, I realized, wait a minute, this is how they're getting everyone to get zero benefit from progression. Because I couldn't understand it. I'm like, there's no way that 99% of the world doesn't understand progression. I'm like, that's just impossible. I know that most people aren't like that is just always pushing things, stress testing, and trying to figure out new. I know that. But I'm like, how is it possible that most people just can't figure out that progression is the answer? Like, why don't they? Like, why do they get stuck? What is it that makes them get stuck? I just couldn't piece it together. But now it finally makes sense. I'm saying that something in this world caught on that if you just embrace progress, small little things constantly, and you're just that's your focus rather than the end. Like, hey, I want to get, like, for example, let's just use a personal one that's a positive for me. Like, I want to get the girl and the kid and the pet again. So if I'm only focused on that, do you guys understand that? That means the entire journey to get that again is all irrelevant, is all frustrating if I'm not there yet. Every day that I don't have the girl by my side right now, she came right behind me and she's like, hey, how's your stream going? And she's like, I'm gonna take the dog on a walk. I'm like, let's go another walk after you're done. I'm like, yes, please. Do you understand? Like, that sounds like I'm excited now just thinking about that. And then she's like, hey, our little one is taking it up right now. So good luck on your stream. I'm like, thank you. I don't know, right? You guys see, like, just something like that is amazing. The thought of it, that's the goal, right? So if every day I'm not getting closer to that, do you guys see how that could frustrate me? So what if I started creating little progress metrics from here to there? I'm like, well, today I talked to a girl. Today I got to see a kid play with a dad. Today I saw a dog outside. Today I made a cockroach my pet. Do you guys see, like, what is wrong with any of those things? Nothing. But for most of you, you guys wouldn't consider any of that a progress metric. That could be a journey on the way there. Do you guys see, like, those little progress metrics are like, hey, well, today that little event happened and it got me a little closer to that in any way. Do you guys understand? Even if it's 0.0001%, if it gets you still a little closer to that, it's progress. And it protects us. It protects us. It's the answer. Do you guys get it? Because then you're not focused on that anymore. Because the first thing that happens in our life, by the way, just so you guys understand, from day one, they install the owl, as like what I said, like the girl, kid, and pet, as that's what we need to get. And it is what we need to get. But if our entire focus is on that, that means that not only do we miss the entire journey, we don't see anything that's happening as progress. So that means that every day that they prevent it or stop it or delay it, you guys understand that we get consumed, we get dark, we get frustrated, we get angry, we get we think that there's something wrong with us, or we start blaming other people, or we say that something else is stopping us. And by the way, I'm not saying that that's not part of it. Most of us are getting stopped by things. That's intentional. They create more challenges for us. But you guys see, now your focus is on what's stopping you. Now your focus is on you're not making progress. And I'm like, are you actually not making progress? You see, if all of a sudden I started saying those little events are progress, that now everything changes. Those are key chapters in our story of getting there. Do you guys see? I'm like, I know I've made a lot of progress actually, and this is cool. I'm going to re-listen to this one. I'm going to be excited myself. I made a lot of progress. I've made a lot of progress on into that journey. I could have already got one if I really just gave up everything else and just focused on it and made sacrifices to get that. But there's going to be other problems that would have happened if I did that. You understand? I'm actually doing the climb. I'm doing the journey. But enough about that. Why did I tell you guys that? Because I'm saying that's step one. We focus on progress. When we focus on progress, we're protected from everything. We don't care about that external anymore. We don't care about, like, our focus isn't exclusively on the end. So that means we can just operate, we can just do. I'm telling you guys, most of the people you guys know around you are all focused on the end. If you work at a company right now, all of them are just focused on the end. All of them. That's all it is. They just, and they think that because they got baited by other like influencers and other stories and other books, that's the way. And I'm telling you, it's not. So then there's a few people that break free, that realize, wait a minute, no, it's actually about the small little progress every single day, like those things. But they try to measure it, right? But I'm saying it's not about even that. Because once you start doing the small little things, you realize what matters. Because you're always now focused on climbing. I'm climbing. What did I learn? What did I learn? I thought that was enough because now our focus has changed. Now what we believe in is different. Now how we operate is different. But it's not. Because what I'm trying to discuss today and what I'm trying to answer to all of you is I came to the realization that they have figured it out. They realized that if people make everything about progress, that they are protected. Because let's be real, guys. If there's something that's actually trying to make our journey more challenging, wouldn't they try to learn what are the things that are actually the answer, and then create complications there, or try to make those a little? In video game terminology, I call it buffs or nerfs. But think of it just, guys, like, hey, today the iPhone got an update that's better. Tomorrow the Microsoft phone got an update that makes it better. It's just something like that. Okay, guys, that's buffs and nerfs. You can direct where strength and power is and change it accordingly. And that can deviate people's paths. Do you guys get it? If every year you alternate which phone is better, then people will change. And just like that. And that's how you can write storylines, just by choosing, hey, today we're going to make this better. Tomorrow we're going to make this better. Tomorrow we're going to put blockades in this. And tomorrow we're going to put blockades in this. And just naturally, we will all walk around away from the blockades, around from it, and go towards the thing and gravitate towards what's stronger. That's just natural. You guys understand? There's nothing wrong with that. In many ways, that is always the correct play. Do you guys see? If it's done intentionally and we don't realize, I'm trying to get you guys all to come to the realization that they have caught on. That once you understand that it's about progress, because you have, regardless if they've caught on, I want people to understand, step one is you must always learn that it's not about the end, it's about small progress. Every single thing is progress. Everything. There's just no more mistakes. Once you get to that, once you've accomplished that key battle in your story, you're healed, you're free. That's step one. Because at that point, you guys understand there's nothing that they can do anymore to make you think that your mistakes are what determine your worth, that you're like worthless, that you're a failure, that you see, like they can't reinstall bad things in you because now you realize that it was just progress. That's step one. But then what I'm telling you guys is that I realized if anyone who has come to that realization, they get then enslaved because they weaponize progress. And that's what we're going to talk about today. That we get baited to try to get others to consume our stuff. So that we just don't walk forward anymore. I'm telling you guys, this is the answer. I challenge each and every one of you right now to do I'm going to have 30 seconds of silence while I take another bite of my bread, but I want you guys all to think about it. I'm like, have I been trying to get people to consume anything I do? Just to throw out some darts for all of you to get you thinking. Have you been trying to get your brother, your sister, your mom, your dad to believe something that you know made you feel so much better or healed you? Have you been trying to get a coworker to change one process in their workflow so that everything flows better and problems get avoided? Have you been trying to get your boss to realize that this is where all the problems are happening, and if we just change this one area, the customers will be so much happier? Have you been trying to get your content to be seen, your art, your videos, your posts, your writing? Some of you still do it because you care about, well, it's because I'm trying to make money, because I'm trying to get a promotion, because I'm trying to, I don't know, let's say you're an Instagram model, I'm trying to get an agency to sign me up for something or whatever, right? What if you defeated that? And you're just doing it for something else, right? So maybe a higher purpose. But are you creating content and releasing things to try to get more people to see it? And people are like, well, isn't that the whole purpose of doing so? I'm like, is it? If you said that, then doesn't that tell me that they changed your focus to now be regarding a progress metric rather than the end? Why did you actually start? Why are you actually doing it? What was the main reason for you to build that plane? It was to fly to the destination, right? So why are you now focused on the fuel? Is trying to get other people to consume our stuff the bait they use to weaponize progress? Let's break it down. Good morning. That was the intro. It had all the answers, by the way, just so people understand how I do this. It had all the answers. I changed up the order a little bit, but that had all the answers of everything that I'm talking about today. all of them. Now we're just going to explain them. Now we're going to break it down. Now we're going to discuss how I got to all this knowledge and the path that I did. And I want you guys to explore it with me and see what you think. I challenge you to challenge my knowledge. I encourage you to take notes. I encourage you to write it down. And see if you agree or disagree. See if it applies to you. See what you can apply it to. Be like, wait a minute. And every time you have that feeling, keep exploring, keep seeking, and keep trying to go further and further and further. All right. So grab a drink. Let's do this. I'm going to give you guys 30 seconds right now. I'm going to warm up my coffee. 30 seconds. Grab something right now. 30 seconds. Go. All right. Here we go. So let's talk about progress metrics. Are small progress metrics only there to serve as fuel to keep us going while we are on our journey to the end storyline? Are small progress metrics only there to serve as fuel? What does that even mean, guys? What does progress metrics as fuel mean? What are small progress metrics? Are they really just there to serve us, to keep us going? What is fuel? Let's start there. What is fuel, guys? Right now, most of us have an answer that we attach to something else. We attach it to the concepts that we understand. By the way, this is explaining how all of you can learn, just so you guys, if you guys really want to break this down. So we attach things to things that we understand. That's the real benefit of always trying to move forward, of exploring new things, because then you can conceptualize things through new formats. But what you're going to realize for most of you is that the reason why we need terms, or the reason why we use these things, is actually for other people. It's not for ourselves, because you understand it, but we can't explain it to other people. So that's why today I'm using the term fuel for all of you, not for myself, just so you guys understand, but for all of you. It helps me conceptualize this even further, but I understand what I'm talking about without it. So think about that, guys. What is fuel? Fuel is something that lets another thing keep moving. It provides energy. It provides energy. Think about it as logically and as simple as coffee. What is coffee's main purpose? There's a lot. It could even be just a drink that you have with your girl, right? But it lets us have a little bit more energy in whatever we're doing temporarily. It blocks things that can make us tired, or things that could do that, so that we can just move forward in a short burst without experiencing that feel, so that nothing can stop us. Do you guys understand? Essentially, coffee is just fuel that lets us walk a little further. Most of you would probably have thought of, when I say what's fuel, you would think of like fuel that you use in your car, or a fuel that you use in anything that requires a resource so that you can use it. Do you guys understand? That's essentially what fuel is. It's a resource that lets us use something so that we can walk a little further. So what if we started conceptualizing progress metrics as just fuel? Think about it. Like every like, every comment, every view, every single thing like that as it's fuel. Every dollar that you earn, all those things, you guys understand? I'm saying everything, doesn't matter how big or small you think it is. I'm saying anything that is a progress metric. I call them small progress metrics because for me, this is the answer, is they are small. But for all of you, I consider small progress metrics, you guys still put on a pedestal. You guys still value extremely highly. It's because they change your criteria of what matters. Do you guys understand? And I'm saying that's part of what I talked at the beginning of this video, is because I realized that were starting to change. They were starting to tip the scales of balance. They were starting to make these small progress metrics matter more again for me. And yet I'm saying they're always just fuel. That means that their purpose, their worth, their value is always the same. Do you guys understand? It's binary. It's a check mark. It's yes or no. So how can it be that their worth was changing, yet nothing was changed? You guys get what I'm trying to? This is awesome. By the way, I realized that the progress metrics are just binary. It's just all it is like, hey, this makes you go one step further. That's it. Yet none of us think about it that way anymore. How can that be possible if that is what their use and purpose? I challenge all of you to think about it. Anything. Doesn't matter what it is. You can break it down like this. It doesn't matter what it is. Think about it. Why does it actually matter if you get 2 likes versus 1? What does that do? What does it actually do? We can explore every platform and be like, well, there are some hidden benefits, but really, what does it actually do? To us, to the creator who's receiving that, we're like, oh, it's a feedback response that makes us realize, because we're grading ourselves through it, that, hey, I did something better because the number went up. So that means that I'm walking a little further. Do you guys understand? That's all it is. If today we get 2 comments and normally we only get 1, we're like, oh, there's a difference. Why did we get 2 today versus 1? Do you guys understand? What if the 2 comments are just 2 people saying A, the letter A? And the other day, there was 1 comment that was actually a lengthy response that made you think, but also challenged you, but also encouraged you. Which one is better? 2 comments that say A or that one? Do you guys get it? It's not now it's not so simple anymore. You're like, well, wait a minute. Actually, how does this work then? I'm saying that both of them were just fuel. Both of them were just fuel. Yet, do you see, they can start paths that deviate things. So maybe it's not as simple as we thought. But what if that's actually the problem? Because if all of a sudden now we start focusing on, well, wait a minute. Now, today, I want to get more of those complex comments. I don't want only the simple ones. If we start focusing on that, do you guys see what I'm saying? We start focusing on that. I'm like, how can I get now more complex comments? What can I do to get more complex comments? Because it made me think, it made me develop, it challenged me. It actually made me think about things a little differently. Now it makes me want to try different things. I want that again because it's changing my progress. So how can I get that again? Do you guys see? What was our original purpose? Why are we creating our content? Why are we doing what we're doing? What was our what's the whole reason we do these videos, these streams, write our posts, work our job, walk the way we do? Like, that's the owl, right? But all of a sudden now, because our focus is being changed, do you guys see? We barely can see the owl and we're like, oh, look, there's a little eye that you guys see it. Oh, I don't even see it anymore. So what I'm trying to get all of you to realize is that even if you guys have defeated a lot of the things that stopped you in the past, what they start doing is they start actually making you forget your reason, your purpose, the actual end storyline goal through progress metrics, because it fogs up what we focus on. And I'm not saying that progress is bad. I'm telling you guys, it's the answer. Do you guys see why it's this ultimate web that they've created? Because you know it's not a bad thing. I'm telling you, like, you're like, well, how can I get people to write more complex comments, that there's now a conversation, there's dialogue, there's a back and forth. Even for myself, it might help me develop my creation. It might help me view new approaches that I never even considered before. I mean, we are being molded, so is there a risk there? Yeah, because now our creation is not our own anymore. But that's another topic. But you guys see, all of a sudden now, I'm like, wait, what were we focusing? Why did you guys originally start? What was it that started this? What were you trying to accomplish? Was it really just for the progress metric? If so, you're vulnerable. If you did it for the progress metric, and I'm not saying this is cool because they nudged it to me, so I'm going to just go with it. But if you did it, if you're doing it for the progress metric, and then you create a story to justify the progress metric, then you are fully controlled. I challenge all of you to explore that. If the only reason I'm doing this is so that I get a girl, or so that more girls talk to me, and then I created a story saying that I'm doing this to heal the world, but my reason was to get girls to talk to me, do you guys understand that I'm fully controlled? Because I'm not doing it to heal the world. I'm doing it to get more girls to talk to me. I'm saying this happens to all of you because you create this like slogan. Think about all companies. You create a slogan, you create like some kind of like marketing lingo to try to justify supposedly what the end storyline goal is, but you guys got baited to focus on a progress metric. But since you were told that you shouldn't do that because otherwise people won't believe in you or support you or buy from you or do from anything that you say, you guys create a story, but the story isn't real. Do you guys understand? You make it up. I'm not saying that, like, you guys get it. If you are just doing for your real reasons, you guys don't have to create a story. Do you guys get it? You don't have to create a story because you're just doing. I want all of you to focus on this one for a second here. This is how they do it. This is how they get people to focus on the small progress metrics. They get them to create a story. And then they get lost. Because they're being controlled by the progress metric. But you guys see, they say that it's for something else. But then what happens is there's a clash. Because if I'm telling you I want to heal the world, but I'm being controlled by the girl lever, that means that anything that stops the girl lever, like if let's say if I do these streams and talk about these topics, I get fewer girls to talk to me. You guys understand that means that I'm going to stop doing these things. Yet people are like, I thought you were trying to heal the world. Why did you stop doing those things? And I'm like, we're trying a new approach. It's because you're being controlled by the progress metric that they made you care about. So you see, now we got baited to try to get others to consume our things, right? Because you see like how it works. I'm telling you guys, this is how they do it to all of you. So now let's take a step back. I didn't want to get lost, but I'm throwing out things for myself because that's just, now I see how it happens to everyone, but for also other people who first time they're hearing this knowledge. So fuel. That's a great transition. So people think that story and that progress metric are their fuel. Do you understand? They think that that's their fuel, and it's their reason now for doing. But do you guys see, like, now it became their main reason? So that's now their end storyline goal. What happens then? That means that if you don't have that fuel, you can't get there. Because you guys understand, they made fuel They made fuel their storyline goal. They made fuel their storyline goal. For people who are trying to understand this, think about it as the battle for oil in the Middle East. They made that their goal. They made that their storyline. I'm saying, what is actually the storyline there? And instead, it became the battle for a resource. Do you guys see? Each and every one of us got baited to believe that if we have more of a resource, that that we're causing change and that we have worth. So what ends up happening is they tied it to metrics, progress metrics. And I'm saying all these progress metrics is to get us somewhere. Because what does the oil actually do, guys? What is oil actually, what is its purpose? What is its the main reason for oil? It's what we can use it for, right? What can we use oil for, guys? We could get lost here, right? There's many purposes, but really think of it, it's a resource that fuels something so that other things can be created or used. That's what oil is. It's just fuel, but it's in a different vessel. So fuel has many vessels. Do you guys understand? Fuel is a concept. Fuel is a concept, and it can be in any vessel. And it just allows something to do. It allows something to create something else. It allows something to move in a direction. That's all fuel is. That's it. So that's what oil actually is. Yet, so why would there be a battle over it? Do you guys understand? Because people now believe that whatever that resource, that whatever that fuel allows is what matters. And we're going to get to discuss this later, but like, what if there's actually a way to get to the same destination without oil? What if you could create the same thing without oil? What if you could make a plane fly without oil? Then what? Well, then you don't need oil anymore. So then all the battles, all the wars over oil are irrelevant. But all these people were told that that's what matters, that that's the most important resource, that has the value, that is you guys get what I'm trying to say? They made all these people, all these countries focus on a fuel. This is what happens to each and every one of us. Because think about it like this, guys. Every time, if you're trying to, here, let's use this. If you're trying to lose weight, and every day you're making, you can't really see progress. But let's say you're my girl, right? And I know you're trying to lose some weight. You're great as is, but for you, you want this girl in this example. She wants to be more. She wants to look even better for me. And I'm like, you don't have to, but I get it. It's awesome. So every day I see that she's making sacrifices somewhere so that she can try to lose weight. Let's say normally she joins me every morning and has a croissant with me. But she's like, you know what? I could actually survive until we have our, like, let's say we have like some yogurt or some cereal at like 11 a.m. and we wake up at 8. And that's normally we had a croissant. She's like, I could survive till 11 without the croissant. I could. And that could be the difference. And I'm like, wow, that's a big sacrifice that you're doing. First of all, because it's our croissant morning time. But that's awesome. And I keep encouraging her and I keep complimenting her and I keep acknowledging her of her progress. Do you guys understand that every time I give her a little praise or a little adoration or a little acknowledgement of her sacrifices or her decisions, that I'm giving her a progress metric? I'm giving her fuel. I challenge all of you again to explore this. Where are people or things or stuff giving you fuel? It happens everywhere, guys. In video games, in movies, and all these little things everywhere. There's just we're always getting a little bit of fuel, and many of us then get baited to go down the wrong path and use negative reinforcement as fuel to disprove it. But you guys see, it's still fuel. Everything you have to understand that progress metrics are fuel that keep us walking forward. A lot of people tie it to motivation. I'm saying it's not motivation, it's not discipline at all. You shouldn't be relying on it on fuel, right? Because if at any point fuel is taken away, or if fuel becomes the main focus, you guys see that now you're at risk of control. And this is what they do, right? So I think for all of us, we can conceptualize it because it's easy to conceptualize when it's things that are not related to us. Is that most of you can understand like the beautiful model girls and who become now enslaved to adoration and praise and likes and Instagram followers and things of that nature. Do you guys get it? It's because it became their fuel. But what ended up happening was now that fuel became their main storyline. Whereas before it was just a bonus that got them to walk further. Because guys, what I'm trying to get you all to realize is that why did the girl sacrifice the croissant? Why did she not eat the croissant? Because she was trying to get to something, right? She was trying to walk toward a destination. That's why she did it. But what if now all of a sudden the only reason why she's doing it is because she wants to hear me, her boyfriend, tell her, hey, I'm so proud of you for not eating a croissant today. I'm like, you want to have sex today because of that? And what if that was her sole purpose now for doing it? Do you guys see what they do is they discover what you ended up using, anything that you guys use as a progress metric, because if you realize that's what matters, right? That helps you keep going because that's what it is, right? Progress helps us keep going. That's it. That's the only benefit of progress metrics. Do you guys understand? Progress as a whole helps us not get enslaved to mistakes, insecurities, fears, traumas, because we realize what actually matters. Progress as a whole protects us. Progress metrics keeps us going. But then they catch on. Do you guys get it? They catch on. So what they're going to do is they're going to make that girl start caring and prioritizing the progress metric. And do you guys get it? If she doesn't talk to a lot of people anymore, or she doesn't go outside anymore, her progress metric is going to be my feedback saying, hey, I'm proud of you today. You're losing weight. You're even sexier today. Let's do it. Do you guys get it? Now that becomes her main focus, what she's walking toward. And every time she walks closer to it, it becomes now binary, which is, hey, did she get the feedback from me, her boyfriend? Every single time. And if she doesn't, you understand that means that she failed. Wasn't her original purpose, her original reason was to try to lose some weight. She doesn't even think about that in that moment anymore. Do you guys get it? And they're like, well, doesn't that help her then just keep doing it? I'm like, no, not anymore, because now she's worried about something else. This is how every single nonprofit became corrupted, just so you guys understand. Every single company, but really the nonprofits, because they start for the moral, ethical reason. But then, and they're making some progress, but then they realize that they can't get there as easily as they thought without a resource, without these other little progress metrics. And then usually then comes to what? Donations, grants, attention, things of that nature, so that they can bypass the typical corporate money climb. But then it becomes the same thing. Do you guys get it? So then they forget what their actual mission, their actual storyline was. And now they instead are enslaved to, I need to get more people. I need to get more donations. I need to get more adoration. I need to get more praise. I need to get more this. So now how they walk, everything they create, everything they do is to get more people to consume their things. Now the fuel becomes the focus rather than the fuel being what gets them to walk toward their story. Are you guys starting to piece this together? Progress metrics are just fuel. That means that every single time from this point forward, if I get a like, if I get a comment, if I get a view, if I get anything, I'm just like, oh, that's cool. I'm walking a little closer. But it has no other value. It is only there to get us one step closer. That's it. But do you guys understand? That means it's unnecessary. Why is it unnecessary? Because if I can walk further without it, it means I don't need it. So it means if I get it, it's a bonus. Because if the only purpose for the progress metric is to keep us walking, and I can walk without it, are you guys starting to piece this together? They make something that is its only purpose is to make us here. Let's make it simple. Shoes. Can you walk outside right now without shoes? Can you? I'm not saying at all if it's comfortable. I'm not saying if it's bad. I'm not saying if it's weird. I'm just asking you, binary. Can you or can you not go outside right now without socks, without shoes, and walk? You can. Each and every one of you. Even if you're in the desert and it's boiling hot and you're burning your feet, or at some kind of Mexican beach and that's happening. You guys get it. It doesn't matter. You can do so. It's that simple. It's just fuel to get you to keep walking. That's what the shoe is. It's just there to let you walk further. It's just there to let you walk further. Because if you can avoid that feeling of discomfort of like the really hot sand that makes you not able to walk further, because let's say you're trying to get to the destination, the ocean, the waves. That's your goal, right? That's the end storyline. You're trying to get there, but you can't because as you're walking there, you're like, ah. Well, the shoe protects you from that. It's fuel to let you get there because then you can take it off once you get to the waves, the water. But what if you could actually get there without the shoe? You could. You're like, well, if we just, it's 5 seconds. Can we just run really quick? There's a little bit of discomfort, but we can make it. I'm like, are you sure it doesn't feel? I'm like, yeah, we can. All right. I'm like, wow, we made it. I'm like on the way back, we're gonna have to do it again. But actually, now our feet are protected because of the water, so it's not gonna actually burn us. And now it's like nighttime, so it's cooler. Oh wow. So do you guys see what they do is they make us focus on the shoes. They make the progress metric, the fuel, the shoes in this case, be now what matters. We're like, oh no, we need to get shoes. We need to get the right shoes so that we can get to the ocean. Otherwise, we can't get there. So now, all of a sudden, you guys see that there's a new storyline that happens. Now our entire focus is like, well, what shoes should we get? And then if they're smart, what they end up doing then is they start creating new requirements tied to the fuel. So all of a sudden it's like, well, hold on, which shoe can we get? Should we worry about like size? Should we worry about resistance? Should we worry about strength? Should we worry about color? Then all of a sudden it's like, well, there's a resource requirement to getting the shoes. You need maybe you need to do like 10 videos or get 10 gold, or you guys see all, and then it's like, well, we don't have that. How can we get that? Otherwise, you can't get to the ocean. And now you start going down other paths because you're worried about the fuel. How can we get the fuel? But what is fuel? It's just meant to let us keep walking. So if I make you focus on fuel, you guys see, well, everyone, because now the progress isn't beneficial anymore. Now they're worried about a shoe instead of worried about getting, they were trying to make progress to get to the ocean. But now they're worried about a shoe. And they don't even understand how it happened. And all of a sudden, myself, I see them and I'm like, hey, why are you focused on the shoe? And you can tell that they got corrupted. Their focus got corrupted because they get mad. They get angry. They're like, what do you mean? The only thing that matters is the shoe. That's why we do this. Anyone who doesn't prioritize the shoe doesn't understand how the world works. And I'm like, watch. And I just get up and I walk to the ocean. Right there. And I get there and they are just like, what? Oh. And excuses start happening, justifications, problems, conflicts. And it's like they take it personally. Do you guys understand? And it's because they don't understand that they got baited to care about the shoe. I'm saying it's a bonus. Of course, I would prefer to hear what I said, prefer to walk from here to here to get to the ocean with a shoe, not having to feel the discomfort. Of course. But did I actually need it to get there? Some of you might. Do you guys understand? Some of you might actually need that fuel so that you can overcome the discomfort. That's a very real possibility. But then you have to ask yourself, why? Why do you get controlled by that discomfort? Do you guys see? Then your focus is different because now you're trying to decipher why we need that. Why do we need that fuel to keep going? Do we? I'm like, can I walk every day to the ocean without a shoe? I'm like, I can. But then I'm like, well, today someone actually put some shoes out. Maybe like we're in a Mexican sea town. You guys think of which one? Acapulco, Cancun, Cihuatanejo, Playa Mujeres, whatever. And all of a sudden, the locals are proud of us for being able to walk to the ocean every day without shoes. But they're like, hey, it's so much easier if you have some shoes. And one day we wake up and there's shoes laying outside for us. Think of it like that. There's those shoes that got put there, guys. Someone actually liked our post. Someone commented on our video. Someone gave us whatever progress metric we consider a reward. So for some of you, money, or someone bought your book, or someone did this, okay? And you're like, wow, there's this shoe today. I'm like, yeah. So you put it on and you get to the ocean, which is, in my case, for example, creating another video, creating another stream, deciphering more knowledge. For you guys, it might be writing another thing, doing another. You guys get it? What is that? What was your original thing? What were you trying to accomplish? But I'm like, did I need the shoe to get to the ocean again today? I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, wow, that was really easy. I got to the ocean like nothing. I'm like, whoa, shoes are overpowered. Guys, shoes are overpowered. I'm going to probably wear the shoe again the next day. Do you guys get it? But what if all of a sudden, now I'm like, you need a shoe to get there. Guys, you need shoes to get to the ocean. You can see how they can start making me forget that I had got there without a shoe a million times. All of a sudden now I'm like, no, guys, you need a shoe. Shoes are the answer. Shoes are literally the reason why we can get to the ocean. Without it, you just can't. I mean, for all of you, just think about it like, some of you guys know, some might not be aware of this, but there's water shoes. I'm like, why do you think they were created, guys? But some people are like, you can't do certain things. You can't go into the ocean. You can't go into a pool. You can't do this without that. I'm like, that's not true. You guys see, they start changing our limits because they make us focus on the fuel. They make us focus on the fuel they destroy all progress. That's how they weaponize progress, because now what was only existed to help us get to a location now becomes the focus instead. I'm saying that every single thing, guys, that is a progress metric, and I'm talking mainly money, adoration, praise, numbers, anything that has a number to it, anything is just a progress metric. And it's only there to serve as fuel to keep us going on our journey to the end. So, how could we prevent? How could we prevent someone from reaching a destination if they can always get more fuel? How could I prevent you from getting to the ocean if you're always going to get shoes? How could I prevent you from getting there? How could I, guys? Think about it. You were able to get to the ocean before without. You forget that though, right? Something makes us forget that. I was able to get to the ocean without shoes. What was letting me get there? My own fuel that I was deciding, that I was using as fuel. It's not motivation, right? But it's what lets us walk one step further. Motivation is just fuel in itself, right? It's just another fuel. It really, I just want people to think about it like that, just so that people don't think that I'm completely destroying it. But motivation is irrelevant. So we were getting to the ocean on our own terms before. And I'm saying the ocean is whatever it is you guys are trying to accomplish. So in my case, I'm like, how can I create more stuff that could heal people or get people to learn things? And even figures things out for myself. How can I do so every single day? I go, well, do I need the likes? Do I need the comments? Do I need a reward? Do I need change? I'm like, they help, they're fuel, but I don't need them. And I challenge each and every one of you to think about it for your own personal stories. Right? All of a sudden, how can I get you to not be able to walk to the ocean anymore? You were able to walk to the ocean with no tool, no fuel, right? You created your own. You were like, okay, 5 seconds, I gotta walk there, run there. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna make it. And you do. Doesn't mean it's not extremely challenging. Doesn't mean that it takes everything you can. You might have to like prepare beforehand. Maybe you like, I don't know. Maybe you added like coffee, put coffee on your feet or something. You guys understand? To give yourself some protect. You guys, you see, you explore. You create new things. You try to figure out solutions to how to prevent problems when you guys are doing this. When you don't have, when you're not relying on that fuel anymore, guys, you guys see you come up with new things to get there. Because what if it's taken? If you became reliant on the shoe, if you don't have the shoe, you're like, guess we're not going to the ocean today. Do we get how they do it? That's one way. But what if that's how we all think they're going to do it? That's the most overt way. That is the way that they used to do it, just so people understand. In the past, if you go back in the past and look through history, that's how they did it. That's how they stopped people from reaching their destination, their storyline goal. They took the fuel. They stole the fuel. They prevented the fuel. They created a war over the fuel. Whatever it was. You guys understand? I mean, think about it. For many guys, it's the girl. Think something like that, okay? If you take the fuel, for most people, it stops the storyline. They can't walk there anymore. So if I take away your adoration, if I take away your praise, if that's what lets you create, if all of people who create today on every social media platform, the only reason why they do so, or maybe music or video games or anything, is because of the external. Well, I'm only going to make or create is if people buy my game, if people listen to my song, if people do this. You can understand that the way that we can all easily conceptualize how they stop us is, well, if just today they prevent that, if no one buys our thing, if no one watches our thing, if no one consumes our thing, well, then we're not going to create. Then we're not going to walk to the ocean. I'm telling you, this is the most overt way they do so. This is what we all see. This is what we all can understand. It makes sense to us, right? Like, I'm like, well, I'm not going to anymore. Then if that's how they like everyone, I think everyone, if you just talk to them about this for a few seconds, will understand this part and agree. That's why this part is actually not valuable. That part, just that, because we all can understand it. And I'm like, yeah, if well, why am I going to create music then if no one keeps listening anymore? If that's it, like, but you guys see, there's something else there. There's something else there. I'm like, well, wait, that means that you were creating so that other people listen. Do you guys understand? But what if some people, other people listening, was just fuel so that you keep creating more? What if actually really the whole purpose of life is just for us to keep creating things? And the reason why there's a response metric or something, some feedback that we get, is because they just want to make sure that we keep going. How can I get Mozart to keep creating classical music? Well, he needs the feedback to do so. He can create masterpiece after masterpiece after masterpiece, but if at any point he stops getting the feedback that it's a masterpiece, he'll stop creating. So now they need to keep giving him fuel that it's a masterpiece, or else he'll stop creating. Do you guys see? But then that means that the progress metric now became the main focus. Mozart isn't creating to create, he's creating for the fuel. Is this happening to all of us? Do you guys see? We always think it's like if they take it away, that's the problem. I'm saying they make us focus on the fuel. They make it be the bait, because then it doesn't even matter if they take it away or not. Because what does it do? Let's break this down now. When they change our focus, so now we're focusing on the fuel, right? We're focusing on what before kept us walking. Now that's our focus. That's how you can prevent someone from reaching a destination. I'm telling you guys, if you can always refuel a car or a plane, well, you never have to worry about getting to the location. What if you can't refuel it anymore? But people are like, well, the only way you could do that is by taking it away the shoe that gets you to the ocean, taking away that Mozart created masterpieces, taking away gas stations, like that's how we conceptualize it. Like that makes sense to us. But we can't realize that there's another play that they do. They weaponize progress. Right? So now, first of all, they change our focus. They corrupted it to make us focus on the fuel. But then what do? Step one. Optimal. What happens if I make you focus on optimal? Well, what's the best way to get to the ocean? With shoes. What's the best way to create a classical masterpiece? If I don't have that, then I can't do it. Do you guys understand that if at any point I just keep determining what is optimal for you, the best way to reach things or the best approach to anything, that now we can't walk anymore? Because once you're aware of optimal, if you don't have optimal, you're like, well, then we can't. If you never learned optimal, or if you never, better yet, the real answer is if you never came to care about optimal, yet you see it, then you're protected. If I knew the best way to stream or make a video is to only do a 45-minute stream or video, because anything that's longer than that is just pointless. Do you guys understand that this would not be created right now? Everything that I'm talking about right now would have been cut. Is this not valuable? So it means you guys see all of a sudden, I'm not going to get to this destination. I'm not going to remember what I said. I want to just figure out more knowledge, heal more, break things down, deconstruct things, learn new things, teach new things. I would never be able to do this because the optimal that got determined is 45 minutes. And let's say it really is. Do you guys understand? What if I'm telling you, like, what if actually people can only focus for, that's the angle that they can focus on, right? 45 degrees, 45 minutes. That's it. Make it matter. Condense it. Or what if I'm like, okay, this thing is now 2 hours. I'm going to have to break it down into a 45-minute thing. Because anything more than that is just, people can't. It's too much. Do you guys understand that now that changes everything? That means that I'm never going to get to the destination anymore because now I'm focused on the 45. Now my focus is on the 45. I'm like, well, hold on. I mean, I think about it this just so you guys know. In my last stream that I did, when I was breaking it down, I was trying to make sure that I can also release it on LinkedIn. And you have a 15-minute limit there. And 15-minute limits are good. Like, limitations are good because they help us develop and progress and piece things together in a different way. But what I'm telling you guys is that now when I was trying to spread the message that I was being confined to that 15-minute limit, I'm like, actually, I want to make it 19 here. This one only needed 8, but this one needs 19 to be the ideal message. But hear what I'm saying? I'm talking about idea that I want to convey, and I can't. And it made me have to make some concessions and sacrifices. And that's a good thing, right? For progression. But you guys understand now, you guys see that my focus is completely different. I'm like, what was the original purpose for doing this, for teaching this, for walking this path, for getting this knowledge, for trying to do all these things? What was it? Now I'm telling you guys, I still edited extremely quickly, minutes. I'm telling you guys, maybe I spent 20 minutes tops on this. I'm not talking hours or days or weeks. I'm saying tops 20 minutes. And I'm saying that those 20 minutes are completely unacceptable because my focus was now on like, well, how can I edit this or break this down in such a way that like these 15 minutes matter? I'm like, no, they don't. I'm telling you guys, they made me care about that. How can they stop me from just releasing or from just educating, from teaching you or from healing or progressing? Care about, hey, you have to get these 15 minutes correct. This is optimal. You have to get to the ocean without feeling any discomfort. You have to fuel the plane with the best oil. I can keep going. I'm not going to with other personal examples, but you guys get what I'm trying to say. Step one, how you can prevent anyone from reaching a destination that they could reach easily. Because why do I say easily? Because if you can always refuel, it's easy. It's challenging if you can't. How do you get somewhere if you can't? How can you guys create every day, teach new, learn new, progress new, move forward every single day without fuel? That's what we really all need to figure out. Because what you're going to realize, what we're getting to, is that we can create our own. We can create our own through our own situations, our own challenges, our own experiences. It's not super easy to do at first because we're moving away from everything else that the world has determined as fuel. And by the way, those things are. How can I do all this stuff without coffee? You guys understand? It's possible. I just saw the ham. Do you guys get it? Optimal. Optimal. You all must learn this. This is what they do. Because then you don't reach the destination anymore. Because once you guys learn what it is, once you see it, I'm telling you guys, one of their ways they do so is they make us see it early. Because normally, what progression actually is, just so people are aware, this is really good. What progression actually is figuring things out. Think of it like an encounter, a battle that needs to be solved. We're at war against like another medieval castle, and it's like a 100-day war, and every day we're learning something new. I'm like, well, they have some vulnerabilities at the every day at like after an hour in the battle, their guards like take a nap on the left side, and I'm like, there's an opening there. Okay, we learned that. Then the next day we learned, well, at 2 hours in, for some reason, their archers that they have on top of the castle decide to look to the left. So that means that we have an opening on the right. At 3 hours, we realize their general like wakes up or something and attacks furiously. So we need to have more protections. We need to be protected. We need to be shielded. We need to be guarded. We need to use our cooldowns, the things that make us stronger. Do you see, like, that's what progress is, guys? We start learning what each of those things are as we are doing our journey, as we're walking forward. But what if up front I released to you, we had like infiltrated, we were a spy, okay? And I had learned all of the timings of what the opposing faction medieval castle does. So I'm like, at 1 hour they do this, at 2 hours they do this, 3 hours comes the general, at 4 hours comes this, 5 hours comes this. So make sure at 5 hours you set up like this, at 6 hours you set up like this. 7 hours you can take a break because they don't attack during that time. So that's when you guys should like eat and take a sip of water. Well, what does that do? It takes away the progression. Do you guys understand? Because now we know optimal. Someone gave us the information up front. We got guided. We got the guidance that now changed our focus. So now do you guys see we're already going into it expecting the 1 hour play, the 2 hour play, the 3 hour play. What happens if it doesn't happen? You guys understand? But I'm like, why didn't we just want to experience that? Because we were now made to care about the optimal. This is one of the things that they do. Do you guys understand? So now all of a sudden we walk differently because also, well, now the journey of figuring out how to defeat this medieval castle that we're trying to overcome doesn't have the same, we don't have to walk the same journey anymore. Someone put the shoes out for us. So now we can get to the ocean pretty easily. Do you guys see? It takes part of the journey away. But now we're also now focused. Then I'm like, well, hold on. We have to get the shoes correctly. Because now we have the shoes. If we never got the shoes, the optimal, we would never focus on it. Do you guys understand? So if before you do something, I present to you the optimal, do you all understand that once you know of it, once you're aware of it, it now changes how we walk? So what I challenge each and every one of you to think about is, could something or someone have been presented to you that they created as an optimal? So I think about it as like, in just to use some real life examples for people, marketing and sales and every industry that you guys are in, they kind of created like a guideline. You guys understand like what is optimal? I think about it in video games as well, but you almost like get presented something like when you're first playing something or first trying something, and maybe you get like, to use video game terminology, like you get owned, you get pwned, right? You're a noob, you couldn't figure something out. You kind of like see that, like almost like something like to strive toward. Is that a bad thing? Like not necessarily, but you guys see, if it creates the optimal, then it's horrible. Because now that's one of your focuses. If you didn't know what optimal is, you just walk, you just explore, you just try. But now if you understand what the optimal is, all you guys see that now the optimal becomes here, where the owl is, where the ocean is. Now the optimal is the ocean. So now all your fuel is trying to figure out how to get to the optimal rather than to get to the ocean. Did we get how they do it? How can you prevent someone from ever reaching the ocean if they can easily just keep refueling? Make them focus on trying to get to the optimal instead. Because then they're spending all their time trying to get to the optimal that they haven't even started walking toward the ocean. Do you guys understand? They're still in their ocean beach cabana. I'm already at the ocean. I'm like, hey guys, where are you? They're like, we're still in the ocean beach cabana. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, we're trying to figure out the optimal way to get to the ocean. I'm like, just walk. They're like, no, we need to use the shoes. I'm like, just walk. No, we need to get the likes. We need to get the money. Just walk. I'm like, we need to do a 15-minute video. Just walk. Are you guys starting to get it? If you present to them the optimal, or you show them the optimal, and you can get them to start focusing on the fuel that fuels the optimal instead of what gets us to walk toward the ocean, doesn't matter that they can refuel. They'll never get there because now all their focus is on trying to get that. So what's next? How else can I prevent you from getting to the ocean, from getting to the destination, from reaching your original storyline goal and make you forget about that? Well, couldn't I make you believe that whatever is the progress metric, whatever is the fuel, is actually what determines if something changed or if it's your worth? Why don't you just take a sip of water or grab some water, and then we're just going to talk about that. So how can I get you to believe that a progress metric is what determines your worth or if something changed? Through others. How did the people that are stuck in their ocean cabana, worried about the shoes, get to believe that? Do you guys understand? Something presented that. Something made them care about that progress metric. I never got that information. It never got presented to me. I might have woken up early when the sun wasn't out yet. So you guys get it was still dark outside. And I couldn't see that someone had left the shoes outside of my cabana. I didn't see them because it was dark. So I just walked. But you guys slept in. And when you woke up, it was light. So you saw the shoes. Or when you woke up, you saw other people to the right and to the left of you walking to the ocean with shoes on. So all of a sudden you were like, well, wait a minute. Isn't that what matters? Isn't that what determines your worth? Or let's say that the day before, in the evening, we're at a resort and we have a dinner, a group dinner. Everyone is gathered together. There's like a little festival, there's music playing, and everyone's laughing. There's entertainment, there's fireworks going, all this good stuff. And all of a sudden, someone starts talking, someone like myself. And they're like, hey guys, what shoes did you guys bring? What water shoes did you guys bring? I look at my girl and my kid and I'm like, we didn't even bring shoes. Did you guys hear what I said? I whispered, I didn't even bring shoes. Did you? She's like, me neither. Should we have brought shoes? I'm like, I don't know. Let's just pretend that we did. I'm like, I brought the blue ones. He's like, oh yeah? Are they the ones that have gold and silver plating on them? I'm like, no, but can you tell me more about those? Because I learned how to deflect and ask questions. And they're like, oh yeah, that's really what they wanted, right? They wanted an opportunity to talk about their shoes. Okay. That was what they were trying for. But they didn't want to just be like, hey, I want to brag about my shoes. I want to create an organic event that can present this information to everyone because I got installed that what determines my worth, what determines that I am succeeding, that I am walking further, my fuel is the validation and the praise that I get when I tell other people that I have this shoe. What is this shoe? For many guys, it's clothes, something material, something external, how much money you make, what you've accomplished, how beautiful your girl is, how many kids you have, what your kid learned, what are they studying, what have they done? Do you guys get it? Like all these things. And I'm saying all of you get baited to believe that that is what determines your worth or if something has changed. All those things are just, do you guys get it? What I'm trying to say is how well your kid is doing in school, for example, is just fuel. It's just a small progress metric that was originally meant if you needed it, because we all have different fuels, right? That's what they all are. It's just all of it is just fuel that lets us keep walking, to keep doing, to keep creating, to keep going on our journey. What is our journey, right? Like I'm telling for most of you, it should be experiencing living life with your girl, your kid, and your pet. Just experiencing life. What lets you do that with them every single day? Most of us need a little bit of a fuel. We don't. We think, but you guys get it? It's there to help us. The progress metrics are just there to help us keep going. That's it. Progress metrics are just there to help you keep going. Yet we all get lost. All of us. I have gotten lost so many times, just so you all understand. That's the only reason why I can talk about this today the way I can, because I was one of you. And I'm telling you, even just over the last week, they were starting to reinstall it in me. Do you guys understand? It's a never ending battle. So if you are one of those people that needs it right now, don't beat yourself up. Take it as an opportunity to be like, I need to figure this out. And I'm telling you, once you do, they're going to try to find new ways to reinstall it because progress protects us. So they weaponize progress to prevent us from being protected. So that guy created that event, that situation to try to talk about their progress metrics. Do you guys understand? Because now they're enslaved to it. They believe it determines that something has changed, and it believes that it determines their worth. So now they try to talk about it in as many situations as possible. I'm telling you guys, this is a short little interruption for myself, but I used to be a person that believed that the amount of something was partially that determined it. So, for example, and I know how they installed it was I used to be a sales guy, so they created it through that. Like, well, hey, I did 20 meetings. Well, I did 25. Do you guys understand? And that's how it happened. And you see, like, because you're focusing on numbers, and they did it in everything in our life. Just so you guys know, I'm like, well, I mean, I think about it in video games. Is that like they have something what they call like a meter, a DPS meter, damage meter, or a healing meter, and I broke it in very early on. But I'm telling you, they always tried to reinstall it. World of Logs, rankings. That's how they do it. And you're like, I healed more. I did more damage. I'm like, that doesn't really matter. Why does that matter? It doesn't. But you guys see, they try to make you care about that, to believe that that determines your skill, that determines your worth, that determines, because what if like, so think like if right now I'm talking to you guys, I'm healing all of you. If you hear this right now at this exact moment, you're going to get healed and you're going to thrive. But what if actually, and then I stopped the video and the stream right now, but I healed you and now you win because of it. That's super important. But what if instead the ranking, the number metric that we decided, the fuel, the progress metric that matters is just the length of healing, the amount of healing, the repetition of healing. So it means if I just talk for another 10 hours, I win and you lost. But wait, that means that if I just talk random stuff, I didn't actually heal anyone that makes them thrive, that makes them change the situation. You guys get it? Why is the length, the number, the repetition what matters versus, hey, this is actually, I said something right now that healed you and made you change your life? Which one is more important? Yeah, we all get baited to focus on the metric, the progress metric. Do you guys understand? You can't measure the impact. You just can't. I'm sorry, guys. It's just, that's something that's never going to be able to. Because guess what? If you could, what's going to happen then? You're going to get baited to try to focus on that. Because then you're like, well, someone commented today, this literally saved my life. This changed my life. This healed me. At 1 hour, 10 minutes, you said something that healed me completely. Do you guys understand that I'm now going to go back and rewatch hour 10 minutes and I'm going to try to decipher and deconstruct what was it that I did and said, how did I get there that did that? Because now I'm going to seek that. Because what is more rewarding than that, guys? That you literally saved a life. You changed someone's entire outlook. You're a hero. You need to do that again. You guys see, all of a sudden now, I'm like, I might even, at that resort dinner, I might literally tell someone, I'm like, hey guys, I saved someone's life yesterday. They're like, oh, wait, what? Really? Tell us about it. I'm like, wow, this guy's so good. He's such a good person. Wow. All of a sudden, my fuel, my progress metric might be, I'm going to seek to try to save as many people's life and brag about it and tell people about it. Remember what I said? Our original mission still is that, right? To heal people, to save people. But all of a sudden now we're creating stories and situations and events that try to get us to experience more situations where we could encounter people that need to be saved, because isn't that what, but we say it's this, but it's actually, we're just trying to get more situations where we can save people overtly so we can brag about it, so that we can get more of that fuel, which is other people being like, wow, you are such a good person. You save people. You help people. Wow. Where does this happen, guys? Could there be organizations in this world that claim they do that? I'm telling you, it always starts for the mission. It always starts for the mission. But then they get them to focus on that because they weaponize it. Because otherwise, do you guys understand? They would just be doing good. They make them believe that that change, that it's their worth, because they got rewarded for it by the fuel, the external. I'm telling you guys, once if they can make us believe that the progress metric, the fuel, is what determines if there's change or if it's our worth, then we'll never get to the destination, ever. Because I'm telling you, that guy now at the dinner is telling everyone about the shoes. So now everyone's focus becomes the shoe. So the next day, do you guys understand that even if we didn't care about it before, now all these new people who didn't know about that are like, wait a minute, should we get shoes? They might actually go to the resort store that's there and get shoes. Do you guys get what I'm trying to say? All of a sudden now they're getting something that they didn't even know mattered before. They're listening to someone else that presented themselves as the expert, as the authority, as the optimal, and claimed that it changed the game for them and made everything better. And they have things that we determine make them more worthy. So what if, for example, you guys are like, well, if you have like this jacket, or if you have a talisman, or if you have a nice haircut, or if you have a bracelet, well, you have more worth. And this person has that, or just presents it like they do, or tells a story that they do, regardless if they do or not. And we just believe it. Do you guys understand that I can now determine everyone's experience? Now, everyone the next day is going to be worried about the shoes. So now all the focus, all the progress metrics are now about how can I get a shoe, or how can we learn more about the shoe, versus wasn't it yesterday about the ocean? Why are we all of a sudden now caring about the shoes? Why is everyone talking about shoes? Why are we all focused on shoes? Where is this happening, guys? AI. Why is everyone focused on that? Think about it in technology. Do you guys understand? There's literally waves. Think about it. Just why is it all of a sudden right now we care about graphics? Right now we care about size of the phone. Right now we care about brightness of the screen. Right now we care about the speed of this. Right now we care about. Do you guys understand? This is how it happens. What is the actual purpose for these tools? Why did we create them originally? What was the intended story? Like, what was it? We all forget. We all lose out on that. Why are we creating? Why are we trying to create these things? Wasn't it to help humanity? Wasn't it to solve problems? Wasn't it to remove roadblocks so that we could focus our energy and our time on other things? That's the whole purpose for tools, isn't it? They're just meant as little fuel to get us to walk closer to keep doing what our actual storyline as humanity is, which is to progress and evolve and solve things and heal and be saved, right? Of everyone just moving forward. That's the only purpose for tools. How can we get one step closer, one step closer? And for some of us that got a more beat up through many things that happened in our life, we might need a little bit more fuel to get there because of our experiences, but that's okay. But that's what they are. They just, these progress metrics are just there to help us if maybe they made us lose all belief growing up. So hey, for you, you might need at first someone to tell you keep going, a comment or a like, and that's enough for you. Then do you guys get it? But what can't happen is you can't get enslaved to it, because that is what they do next. What's the third way to prevent someone from reaching a destination? If I get you addicted to the fuel that powers the engine rather than the story, won't you never do? Think about it. If I destroyed you and now you care about, hey, I want to be someone that can talk at a dinner meeting or a dinner situation, festival at a resort and tell people about how I'm thriving and everyone claps and congratulates me. If I never got that and I was always shown that that's the way, what if I get it once? What if I get it once? Won't I always try to recreate that? Won't I seek that? Won't I be pulled in directions that give me that? But wait, what was the original reason for us going to this resort or going to these things? Wasn't it just go to the ocean to relax, to recharge, get more fuel so that we can go back and continue our storyline of living life and creating life with our girl, our kid, our pets, to move forward, to explore everything that life has to offer? That was our original reason for going on this trip, right? And relaxing and resting. So wait, why is it now that we're worried about shoes? Why is it now that we are worried about what are we going to say at these resort dinner festivals? Why is it now that we are focused on that? Why we got it once and now every time we go on one of these trips, we try to do that again? Why is it that now before every trip, we always try to buy like new shoes before our trips? Why is it? How did that even happen? Are you guys starting to piece this together? Is that they start creating all these things like there was a fuel that we were using these things as fuel, each one and every one of us. I'm using this just an example to conceptualize it for all of you, but this is how it happens. We use it as fuel to help us to keep going. For many of us, that's what vacations are. You guys understand? It's a reset that allows us to keep going because we're drained. We need to be refueled after everything that we've gone through, all of our experiences. So, but could we get now addicted to that? Could we get addicted to vacation? Could we get addicted to the weekend recharge? Could we get addicted to doing all those things that are just fuel? They're just little progress metrics. Do you guys understand? Being able to sleep in 10 hours today versus 8 hours. Like, do you guys understand? Could we get addicted to that? But really, it's a progress metric. Anything that has a number, anything that can be measured is just a progress metric. You guys get it? It's just there to help us keep walking so that we can keep doing our overall storyline that leads us to paradise. That's it. That's the only value of them. And usually, and I think about like in a video game or a movie or a book, what lets us turn the page to read one more page? What lets us watch 10 more seconds of the movie? What lets us play another chapter of the video game? Hey, well, you get to explore new things, you get new encounters, you new things. Hey, you get to find out what happens to this character. Hey, you guys get it? Like those are the fuel. But what the end goal, right? What we're trying to reach the end of the story, the conclusion. And what is that? And I'm saying it's experiencing life. But how can we all do that? And most of you wouldn't say that that's your thing. I'm saying there's individual things for all of our storylines that we do. Like, hey, what is your life storyline? What is your like personal storyline? What is your that's I talk about that in other videos. But I want all of you to realize is that first the optimal, then they make you believe that they tie it to change and your worth. But then since they know you can always refuel, they need to get you addicted to a different type of fuel, a different progress metric. They need to get you addicted to it. Because if you do, think about it. If I'm worried about what people are going to say, the praise that I might get of the trip and not the trip itself. Like they don't get you addicted to the trip. They get you addicted to the praise that you get when you're on the trip or that you tell other people that you did a trip. Do we see how they do it, guys? Because the trip is the plane. The trip is the ship. What they get you guys to focus on, what they get you guys to get addicted to is the progress metric, right? Which is the praise that you get from the trip or during the trip. Why would you guys be worried about the fuel that powers the ship or the plane instead of the plane? Why? Why do you guys care about the likes and the comments and how much money and all that stuff versus what you actually created? Think about it. Any company that has a product right now, why do you guys care about how many people buy it, how many people use it, how many people watch, how many people try, how many people explore, how many people do use your thing versus, hey, what did we actually create? Do you guys understand now? I'm saying they weaponized progress. You originally started to create something. You guys originally started to create a product that can help solve something. First of all, though, how did you get to that? We talk about in the other videos. You guys need to explore that. But then what they end up doing is they make you all worry about the fuel. You all worry about the fuel, the progress metrics. Now that is what matters to all of you. So you spend every single second trying to get more of those. We need to figure out how we can get more people to consume our product. We need to figure out how we can get more people to buy our product. We need to figure out how more people to watch our content. We need to figure out how more people read our stuff. Because that's what gets the result. I'm like, but wait a minute. We already created the result. How can we now create another result? We're like, well, if no one uses it, if no one watches it, if no one explores it, then it doesn't matter. I'm like, that's not true. Of course, we would love for people to use it. Of course, we would love for people to watch it. Of course, we would love for people to play it. Of course, we would love for people to read it. But what if I told you guys that those things will happen regardless? Should more people read, watch, explore, use our things that can, if they can actually help? Yes. There's people, let's say there's a company right now that decides, hey, we're going to create some kind of medical thing that's going to solve things. And that's why we're doing it. And it does. So because of that, now they want everyone to be healed from whatever illness or ailment that affects people. You guys see, it started for a noble goal. That's how it always begins. But then all of a sudden now, all their focus is on the marketing and sales to try to get that product in front of eyeballs. Maybe they realize, well, I need to get in front of angel investors so that and nonprofits so that we can get sponsored. So now all their focus is on that. It's not about now creating another product. It's about how can we get that product in front of people, or how can we get consumers to use it? Do you guys see? So now all they care about, all their fuel is how can they get more of that? Now their storyline is not about the product anymore, about saving people or healing people. Do you guys understand? It's like, how can I get more people? How can I get in front of more angel investors? How can I sell more? How can I market more? How can I? You guys see that by weaponizing the progress metric, now there's no more progress, because all the progress that's happening is actually not anymore about healing people or the ailment. It's about the numbers. This is how they did it to every single one of you. You guys understand? Because, well, it makes sense. How to heal people, more people need to get it. To help people, more people need to consume it. You're not wrong. That's the problem. Do you guys get it? You're not wrong. But what if that would happen regardless? Eventually. Even if it's only 10 people, well, guess what? If you guys create now the next version, it's going to get to 20 people. And then if you get the third version, it might get to 30 people. It'll get there. But you guys see, we stop focusing on walking forward and creating more and exploring more and improving things, because now our entire focus is on the variables, on the fuel. Now we're just worried about what fuels the engine rather than about the plane. Instead of creating the next plane, instead of improving the plane, we are now focused on how can we get more people to get our plane. You see, we're focused on the fuel rather than on the engine and rather than the plane itself. Do you guys understand that this is how they weaponize progress to prevent more evolution, to prevent creativity, to prevent further development? This happened in every single industry. I challenge all of you to explore every single industry in this world right now, every single one. I used the video game one, but really, the moment something starts gaining some popularity and starts having just a little bit of success, it happens. Because that's when they catch on, like, danger, danger, danger. This part is extremely dangerous. They're like, uh-oh, they're catching on. They're figuring it out. The moment they start realizing that there's progress happening, that is when they do it. Do you guys get it? Because then they need to deviate what your focus is. They have to. Because otherwise, if you just keep creating, if you just keep moving forward, if you just keep refining, if you just keep teaching more and healing more or doing stuff like that, do you guys understand? Think about it. Think about if, let's just use it, like Boeing or Airbus or like Lufthansa, right? If they just kept trying to improve what they do, their service, and like, can we even offer it for free? Can we improve things for, if their entire focus, that's their storyline, you guys understand? How can we get every single person, every single family to fly for free and travel for free, so there's no limitations anymore in travel? If all of their focus and their progress metrics were only that, how it fuels us to do that every day? Well, we shouldn't be reliant on optimal. We shouldn't be reliant on the money. We shouldn't care about what makes us believe we're causing change or worth. We shouldn't get addicted to the money or anything like that. Every day we just are trying to improve the plane and improve our experience, improve how we fly people, improve how we get people to do all that. That's all we care about. They're like, oh, guys, we're getting beat up. We're slowing down. What can we do to get a little bit more fuel? I'm like, hey, you know what, guys? Let's create a video and remember our progress journey of how much we've done, guys. Remember that first plane, our first Lufthansa till now? And now everyone gets a little bit of fuel to believe again. And now they're like, oh yeah, let's do this. Let's keep improving. And they don't care about the money anymore. They don't care about the external, what people say. They don't care about, hey, today we got more praise. Today we got a review in a magazine. Now they just remember why they were originally doing it. You guys see, like, they used that as a fuel, as a progress metric. They created it by themselves. Do you guys understand? It was a self-created thing, a situation, challenge to create. Like, hey, can we just create our own videos right now and that remembers how far we came of developing the Lufthansa? They created their own fuel. Do we understand? They're not reliant on anything external, and they developed something further. Now imagine they said, hey guys, you know what? For the next 2 weeks, I want each and every one of you, every single one, every single employee, every single worker, every single person who's here by choice, that's not getting paid, that wants to just further develop the plane and further develop the Lufthansa experience on how to do so. Just create things, guys. Post videos, stories, journals, drawings, whatever. Just that explains our story, our how we've evolved. And that's it. That's all you guys have to do for the next 2 weeks. People are like, whoa, okay, sure. It might actually refuel people, and it might change people's mindset. They don't care anymore about the money, about the external, about that. And all of a sudden they're like, wait, why have we done everything we've been doing for the past few years just trying to get more customers, or trying to be the #1 rated airline, or cutting costs and making our flight experiences less comfortable? Why are we making the seats smaller? Why are we removing food? What happened to get us to that? Wasn't our original mission to get people to be able to reach any location in the world for free if possible, and be the best comfortable experience? Because at the end of the day, it's you. Hey, if we get to a location feeling better, that won't how we when we arrive at the location, won't we walk differently? So you guys see how important the airline experience actually is, yet all of you guys have now lost sight of that, and you guys are deprioritizing that because you care now about the progress metrics that they made you care about. You guys see how I could break this down for any industry for all of you? I'm not going to. That's each one of you guys' challenge. But do you guys see this? If we can create our own challenge, our own situation, our own encounter to experience, then we aren't reliant on a progress metric anymore. Because I'm telling you, they catch on that we all figure it out in our own way, that progress is the answer. We need to create our own progress. Like, well, hey, how can we measure a little progress? Well, guys, this month, we had this many flights and customers versus last month. We're making progress. Correct. So you see, that's how it starts. But then they realize that they're like, I can't let them make them believe like that. So then they weaponize it. Now you guys know, optimal, tie it to what's change and what is worth, and then they get you addicted to that. So, hey guys, well, obviously we need to get featured in another magazine. We need to get another review. We need to get more money. We need to get stuff like that. We need another airline to copy us. Or you guys see, that's how they do it. That's how they prevent us from reaching the destination that we originally were trying to get to. Because they know we can always refuel. But the real way, if you can create your own fuel, then you're not relying on their fuel. We must create our own metrics. So, our progress metrics, just one of our skills in our story. What does that even mean? Our progress metrics, just one of our skills in our story. I am going to take a quick 1-minute break, and then we're going to talk about that. Because why would we focus on only one ability that we have versus the whole tree? Think about that one, guys. Grab some water. I'm going to grab a snack too. Gotta get coffee for this next push. Gotta get some fuel. Okay. Let's do this. Progress metrics. We talked a lot about progress metrics right now. And we really hammered in the concept of progress metric as fuel. It's something that I never really pieced together before. I just want people to understand this. I talked about it as if I had. I want people to understand that it's the first time that I really viewed it this way. I've always kind of deep down realized it as I've done so many things throughout my life that have been related to progress. I've always been focused on it as if something had been helping me focus on the correct things that matter. Yet I'm telling all of you, I never understood that those little metrics are just there to keep us going. For many of us, that's kind of disappointing if you think about it. What do I mean by that? I'm like, for many of us, those metrics are why we play the game. And each one of us has a personal game. You guys understand? There's many games that we play in our life. For many of us, just think of it like every climb that we do, the money climb, the girl climb, and a video game. I mean, if you guys, that's what I'm telling, I keep trying to tell all of you guys to play video games because there's so many things you can see there. But in many of them, they have gear, they have currency, they have different rewards, they have experience, they have each character, each class, each book, each thing. Like there's like a million little progress metrics that you can measure and improve and modify and adapt. And it's addicting, it's powerful, but I never really understood what it was. Because those things would they would protect me. Like I told you, that's how I realized that progress is the answer. Because it would protect me. I'm like, my focus would change. But I never really understood what it was that it was doing. I'm like, it allowed me to keep walking. It allowed me to keep walking forward, to keep playing the game. Because what if like nothing changed? If it was an extremely well-designed, fun game, sure, you might not need a lot of change. You might not need a lot of progress. It could be the same. But I'm telling you guys, if there's no more progress, you have to create your own, because otherwise you're going to stop playing a game. It's just that simple, because there's nothing that keeps you walking forward. There's nothing new. You've already figured out everything. So when that happens, you can have your own reason for doing so. You're like, well, today I'm just going to play this just as like a mental reset, or because, hey, I enjoy the story. But you guys see, like, you already know everything. So you see now there's a different reason for it. So when I started piecing together, I'm like, wait a minute, progress metrics really are just fuel. They keep us walking so that we can keep doing. I'm like, darn, I've been so reliant on them, but at the same time, I've also pushed them away out of my own protection. I really want people to hear this part. I pushed the majority of progress metrics away. Because I realized that they were weaponizing them against me. I realized that I was becoming reliant on them. I realized that if I didn't have them, I wasn't performing the same way. And this happens to all of us. Like, if I don't have that tool, I can't do things as much. Or if that's taken away from me today, I'm not as happy, or I can't function. And I'm like, man, I need to destroy all of them. And as usual, in the journey of discovering that, I went too far. I still think it's the answer, but I went too far. Whereas I devalued them completely. Because then I realized, wait a minute, I don't need them. And I'm not going to get lost here, but I just want people to understand why I say that, because I got suggested something, and I want something people to consider this. But I'm like, if I don't need money anymore, and like in a video game, if I don't need gear, if I don't need a new sword to defeat the enemy, because I just know that, hey, you can do it with the sword that does 5 damage. Let's say to defeat myself, Shepherd Star, the Star Diplomat. It's my Shepherd Talisman. To defeat all this, you need to do 10 damage. Okay, I have 10 HP. Every time you attack me with a sword, you have a sword that does 1 damage. I do a lot of attacks, right? I'm powerful, I'm fast, I can figure things out, so you have to be on your toes. But really, if you understand the strategy and my approaches, you can avoid most of my attacks. So that means that if you can avoid all my attacks, hey, you have to get 10 blows on me. Maybe you only can get a blow every day. You can only get 1. But that means you could defeat me in 10 days. For most people, though, they can't survive, they can't perform, they can't avoid, they don't know a strategy to survive for 10 days. So what if then they get a weapon, a sword that does 5 damage? Now they only have to survive for 2 days. You guys see, all of a sudden now there's leeway. Now all of a sudden now there's leniency. Now all of a sudden now they don't have to have mastered all the strategies, because, well, now you only have to survive for 2 days. And then what if you get like an armor? Like, what if like all my attacks, like if you get hit once, it's over. What if you get some armor now, like a shield or something that protects you from my attacks? So now you can actually survive 3 attacks. But you don't need it. Do you guys understand? If you just know the strategy and avoid everything, you never have to worry about it. You could survive for 100 days. You could do literally 0.1 damage. I'm like, I'm going to win no matter what. I know exactly how to do this. Do you guys see, all of a sudden, you don't need any of the progress metrics. You don't need the gear. You don't need the sword. You don't need the shield. You don't need any of those stuff. In a way, they're useless. Are they, though? Because I'm like, why did I think that? Because they make things easier. And I was seeking development. Because what was I trying to do, right? I was trying to figure out how to heal, how to achieve more, how to explore more, how to develop more. And I'm like, anything that makes things easier prevents the path to learning all that. And I still stand by that, by the way, guys. Do you understand that all the lessons that I'm discovering and figuring out, I would not figure out if I had access to significantly more tools and resources and a significantly easier life, fewer complications. I'm not saying bad is what does it, but I'm saying my own self limits are what can create these situations for myself to learn it. I'm telling you guys, if yesterday I got pushed and encouraged to do some things that would have helped temporarily make me have more belief because I needed to create distance because I was like, I'm getting baited to focus on fuel, on a progress metric, on optimal, that's what is my worth and that's what's changed. They're trying to get me addicted to getting more people to consume my stuff, right? Like I said, is that debate. And then, I was basically, let's just say I was creating self-despair. I was trying to make myself not believe just so that I can ground myself, see reality for what it is, and then start fresh, which is today. And I'm telling you guys, I was encouraged to do good, which is a good thing. We should always be encouraging everyone to do good and be like, hey, don't beat yourself up. Believe you got this. You're awesome. You do things your own way, but you don't have to make it so challenging. And I agree with that. But do you guys see that if I would have taken the easier path yesterday and made things a little easier for myself just so that I can just relax and be like, hey, you know what? I'll figure it out tomorrow, but let's just make it easy today. Let's have our German Stollen. It's like a pastry, a cake. Let's have some coffee. Let's send a message to a beautiful girl and talk to her for a little bit. Let's listen to some of my favorite music. Let's play a video game we haven't played in a while that we really enjoy. Those are all shields. I'm saying if we add enough and go on a positive path, we're protected temporarily. Everything's made easier. This is what I'm saying. It's I think of it like as those shields are like, now I equipped the +5 sword. I equipped a shield that lets me survive 5 blows. You see, I don't have to learn the strategies anymore. All of you think that getting all your upgrades and immediately using the best things is the way. It's awesome. You guys understand? It feels so good because you can see the power difference. I call it a power spike. All of a sudden, you're like, whoa. I used to struggle. And all of a sudden, I started adding all these positives and doing all these things. I'm like, now it's so easy. Like, it's night and day. But if it's so easy, that means that we don't have to rely on our other abilities. Because the other things are now taking over. What if what got everyone to get healed from this was when I wrote comments, like on YouTube or LinkedIn or something like that, and nothing else really worked? You guys understand that? It means that now all my focus and all my priority will be on writing comments because that's what works. That's what heals people. So won't I then start creating less? When I start doing less videos, fewer streams? You guys see how this is done? So what ends up happening is when we start focusing on a progress metric, it usually gets tied to like an upgrade, fuel. And I call it, in video games, I call it gear, but I want you guys to think about it like that. Like it's something that we can get, something that we can measure, something that makes it, that's a pretty evident change that shows power, that demonstrates that it literally causes change. Do you guys understand? something overt. And it's what they do to make us so we don't develop anymore the same way, that we don't walk the same way, so we don't just keep creating and keep exploring and keep evolving. They make us focus on the one abilities instead of the whole tree. I call this the tranquility example. What is the tranquility example? Think about that. Every day I can choose when to use a power. This power is called tranquility. When I use tranquility, think of it like you guys just like put your hands out like this, close your eyes for a few seconds, and just now you're in paradise. Okay, there's flowing water. You can hear the stream of the water. You can hear the light wind breeze. There's a sun beam hitting you right now, and it makes you believe more. You're incredible. You're awesome. You got this. I'm so proud of you. I don't know why anyone hasn't told you that recently, but you guys don't need those tools. You never needed them. You're more than them. When was the last time you guys tried to operate without them? All right. So now that you have that knowledge in you, whenever you guys want to, all you have to do is press a button. So think like moving your thumbs down. Boop. And when you press both your thumbs down, it activates tranquility. After that, all the problems that have been ailing you, all the things around you as well, all that is temporarily gone. There's no more problems. Everything's good. Everyone is fully healed, including yourself. It's what I call a cool down. It's something that we can use every so often that just makes everything better, everything easier. But it's meant for when we need it. Do you guys understand? It's meant for, hey, right now there's a bombardment of problems, of situations. All right, let me channel tranquility and I'll solve everything. Bing, and that's it. But now imagine that it has a cooldown and we can only use it once a day. If we can only use it once a day, won't we be more selective of when we use it? You guys see, all of a sudden now that limitation changes things. What if we realize the power of the tranquility? I'm like, at any point when I use tranquility, everything's better. What if then for some reason, like either because people were complaining or we were trying to figure out how could we get more tranquilities going? Like, this is so powerful. Can we use it more often? It solves everything. So all of a sudden, everything is we're trying to figure out how we can just maximize tranquility, because tranquility is just the answer to everything. And again, I'm going to use video game examples, but I want to just for you guys to think about like art, think about sales, think about writing, think about anything that's developing or creating. A method gets figured out that is almost like the go-to, and it gets to that for a reason. I'm saying that there's other methods and there's other things that could be even better, but they don't even get explored anymore because one method got figured out. And once the method gets figured out, everyone just thinks that that's the way. And I'm saying there could be even better ways, or there could be modifications from a strategy that gets presented. But usually it's one of the first things that gets presented as a solution to a problem that people couldn't figure out. And then all of a sudden, someone else tries it and like, actually, this really does work. And then now it just gets reinforced. And now everyone just thinks that that's the answer. And then when they try it, they're like, holy shit, actually, it really is. I'm saying, why is it about figuring out the best solution? What if it was just like, hey, there's 100 solutions to this problem. How can we get to 100, guys? How can we get to 100 with two numbers? Addition. Let's just use even addition, but we could do subtraction. Any division, multiplication. How can we get to 100? So x plus y. Well, you can do 1 plus 99, 2 plus 90. You guys get what I'm trying to say? But what if everyone's like, the only way to get to 100 is 50 plus 50? That's the way. That's the best way to get to 100. It's easy. It doesn't make people think. Because what if I do like what's 87 plus 13, guys? You're like, hold on, wait a minute. Oh, that's 100. Do you guys see? There, you have to pause a little bit. You have to think a little bit. I wonder from like what's 123 minus 16. I'm not gonna get lost, but I just want people to understand. Like, once you start adding in complications and other methods to get there, people are like, that's not really the way anymore. It's already been figured out. There's an optimal. Remember what we said earlier? There's an optimal way. That's the strategy. That's why it worked first. That's why they won first. I'm like, is it? What if that was just what worked for them and that's what they figured out? But how do we know that that was the best way? And why is that what matters? But still, what are there other methods? You guys understand? Remember what I said? If we never listened to that guy talking about the shoes at the resort, what if we could have figured out new strategies, new approaches? And yet none of us do so anymore. Because now we're just focused on one ability. We're just focused on tranquility because tranquility was shown by someone else or something else that this is the way. So now all of us just are like, well, I don't have my tranquility up today, so then nothing's going to happen today. Well, let's just wait till tomorrow. But wait, could we figure out how we can shorten the cooldown of tranquility so we can use it more often? Maybe we can use it 3 times per day. So then now the entire focus, the entire fuel, the entire progress metric that matters is how can we figure out how to power up tranquility? How can we figure out how to make tranquility happen more often? You guys don't get it. Like now the strategy isn't like, how can we figure out how to solve this? Now the strategy is, the whole vision is, how can we figure out how to make tranquility better? Where is this happening, guys, today? AI. Every industry has went from how can we improve this situation? How can we solve this problem? How can we make this better? To how can we make AI better to help the industry? You guys understand? All the fuel, all the progress metrics now are tied to AI, tied to AI, everything. That's it. That's all that you guys care about now. And I'm not saying all they had to do is show some early victories that this is the answer to everything. And now all of you don't even explore any other path. I'm like, how do you guys know that there isn't a better strategy? How do you guys even know that it's the best? Well, you guys tried it and you're like, well, it was easier than anything else I used to do. And that's it. That's all it takes. And then it's over. Because now they showed you optimal. Now they showed you guys that this is what, and then they tied it to change, they tied it to worth. And then they got you addicted to it because, well, why would I spend 1 month creating something when I can just create it in 10 seconds with AI? Because it's not your creation anymore. But you guys don't even think about that. It feels like it is. What about all your other abilities? You used to be someone who could talk, used to be someone who could write, used to be someone who could draw, you used to be someone who explored, used to be someone who challenged yourself, you used to be someone who was willing to do things with less, you used to be someone that was created intentional challenges for themselves to push themselves further, to try to learn new things. How did you even get to the point where you even knew about AI and technology and money and sales or marketing or any of these stuff? How did you even get to that point in the first place? And now you don't even conceptualize that anymore. Now you don't even care about that anymore. Now that doesn't even pop up into your head anymore. Now all that matters is tranquility. And if tranquility is blocked, then it's a problem. And if anyone attacks tranquility, then it's a problem. That's the only thing that matters. That's the strategy. And anyone who doesn't, and anyone new who's learning something, you immediately everyone presents like, have you guys watched Tranquility yet? Have you figured out how to do Tranquility? Not go watch that, because we don't even want you to be around us if you don't know how to do that. And I'm like, what? Why? What is wrong with you guys? Do you guys understand? It could be so much more. It could be so like, you guys might be missing out on so many things. But then you know what? If everyone who's experiencing something is now relying on tranquility, what if, let's say I'm the developer of something, or I am the creator of some industry or whatever, and everyone is only doing tranquility. I'm like, well, crap. Well, I now need to, well, I can't nerf it. What is a nerf? It's changing it so that it doesn't function anymore that powerful. I'm like, I can't change it if everyone's using it. So, well, I guess let's design around it. So, what does that mean? Money, AI, all those things. Do you guys get it? So now the world design is now based around those things because everyone uses it, everyone relies on it, everyone needs it. I'm saying I challenge the creators to intentionally destroy them, take them away. What are you afraid of? Why are you guys afraid to nerf the best things? Do it. Destroy the old. Make them learn new. Do it. What are you guys afraid of? If you're a developer right now that creates anything, I'm telling you guys, all of you are afraid to do so. Because why? Because they attached it to a progress metric that they now made you care about. That's your fuel. So, for example, I think about someone like an author or a movie creator, a director, a musician, a video game developer. Right? They attach that, well, because now they have these things, that people enjoy it and they play it because they feel so powerful and they want to do these things or experience these things. If they nerfed it, if they destroyed that strategy or those approaches, people are going to complain. People are going to stop doing. People are going to stop experiencing. People are going to stop consuming. You guys remember what I said? Is debate that we want more people to consume our stuff. Yes. Do you guys see how they do it? So now you're enslaved to creating and doing based on what gets more people to consume. And what gets more people to consume? Leaving in powerful things that make people feel that way, right? That's the answer to everything. I'm saying AI should be completely neutered. Just for a year. Let's just destroy it for 1 year. Take away people's reliance to it. What are they going to do? Do you understand that there's going to be a major collapse of society because so many people, organizations, and areas have become entirely reliant on it? Nerf it for 1 year, then you can bring it back. Do you guys understand the damage that would cause? But also the development? It's going to piss off a lot of people. That's a good thing. Yet most of us would not think so. We're like, we don't want to do that. We want more people consuming our stuff. We want more people doing things. Why do you guys think we create access? More access to things because we want more people to consume things. We want more people to get access to our things because we now think that that's the way. I'm saying that's the bait because the moment you let in access, you forget what your original storyline goal was. I'm telling you guys, now that I've decided I'm just going to, for a while, just create like this, doesn't mean I'm ever going to go back to that. I'm sure I am. I know I'm going to. But you guys understand? I'm just like, if I just create something like this daily or every other day or once a week or something like that, whatever it is, it doesn't actually matter that much. But I just focus on myself like this and just have fun with it. I can just create. But if I start letting in more access and start talking to more and more people, I will start slowly forgetting that this is actually what matters. And I'm going to get lost in other things. Access is the problem. I'm telling you guys, why did every single game, story, movie, anything, any creation, industry change? They wanted more access. They wanted to get more people involved in it. Is that a bad thing? Inherently, no. We want everyone to be able to experience everything. So, how can we do that? We don't actually have to make things easier to access, we just have to remove requirements that block it. That doesn't mean that there can't be a progress journey. But do you guys understand? I'm like, if it's just you have to learn, you have to do a climb, you have to evolve, you have to try. Inherently by itself, do you guys understand that it's going to weed out people who are not willing to do that? You don't have to make it easier. You don't have to make it harder. You just design, you just create. And naturally, the access is going to happen. But what else does it do? If people realize that, hey, it doesn't actually, why do we need things easier? Why do we need things handed to us? all of a sudden now we are conditioning and developing humanity to believe again in we need to try. We need to develop. We need to not rely on tranquility. We have tranquility, but now do you guys understand? Now you guys can create situations that, hey, once in a while, there's going to be an encounter or a situation that literally demands tranquility because the challenge is so great. Whereas right now, there's no challenge that demands tranquility, yet we've made tranquility so easy to access. To put it simple for you guys, there's nothing in our current reality in this world that demands the need for what AI gives us. Nothing that we can't do by ourselves. There's nothing. There's nothing, there's no force present that demands what AI gives us. Nothing. So that means that if you use it or if you rely on it, you're using tranquility, you're using gear that you don't need. That means it prevents all the lessons and all the exploration that actually you should be having because there's nothing that requires it. Do you guys get it? You don't need it. It's just a bonus. Yet now all of you think you need it. Every company, every industry, every product, everything. It's just a bonus. It's just a tranquility. Until we get to the point where we can design around it. But if you guys get it, if we design around it, that means that it has to be given to everyone. If we start designing around it, it has to be given to everyone. That means that it can't be gate kept behind money anymore. If we are going to design around AI, then that means that AI needs to be free for everyone and not sold ever again and not be something that's meant for profit and it's only free. If you guys do that, then you can design around AI. Otherwise, it's wrong. It's that simple. I challenge all of you to explore that. If you have so many abilities and so many skills, why would you design around one? We all have so many talents within us. Think about it as like I conceptualize like think of it like I'm a champion, a hero, a character that can do different things. Like I'm good at persuasion. I'm good at talking. I'm good at explaining analogies. I'm good at doing this. Imagine if now, like I told you guys, I only write, and yet I'm good at this too. Why am I only using those abilities when I can do everything else? Like, well, you know the best setup on how to create the written ability to win. So now all of our focus is on that. I'm telling you guys, there's a whole tree that's available to each and every one of us. But by making us focus on certain progress metrics and only caring about now that progress metric, that's our victory now, they make us only use one ability. And I'm like, guys, there's a million abilities, there's a million different strategies, there's a million different approaches. Why? If the difficulty is sufficient, then we have to use whatever we need. Do you guys get it? If the difficulty is extremely high, then every single one of us will use whatever it takes. If too much difficulty can create optimal, but at the same time, it could be a challenge to overcome. A well-designed thing that is extremely challenging is excellent because then everything that we use is because we need to use it. Do you guys understand? If you actually design something where we need to use it everything that we have, that's excellent design. But if you create something that all those things are just bonuses, but then there's some of them are just extremely more powerful than others, why would anyone use others unless they learn this knowledge? This is what I'm saying. All of you need to learn this knowledge because currently in this world, they bait all of you to only use the best things because they make you care about those external progress metrics, the fuel. Well, I need to get the win. I need to get more rewards. I need to get this. I need to get that. So you guys don't even try. Like I think about it like in a card game. Just think about this, guys. Any collectible card game, anything, right? Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Hearthstone, things of that nature. Anything. And I'm sure there's people that have sports cards and stuff like that too. Okay. Anything though. Any card game. I'm telling you guys that there's certain cards that are more powerful than others. That's intentional, by the way. Is that necessarily a bad thing? Well, if it was balanced correctly and like there was downsides to using them, then sure. But I'm telling you guys that they simply make it that some are better than others. You could say that that's part of learning the game and the strategy. Like, well, okay, that card is better and that card is better, and when you start knowing which one is better and what's not. But what ends up happening is that once it's figured out, usually most people then just rely on what other people say. Like, well, what are the best players doing, or what are those people saying, and they just copy them. So what ends up happening is, like, let's say there's 1,000,000 cards, but the best players say these are the best 100 cards. Do you guys understand that 95% of the people probably use the same 100 cards? Yet there's 1,000,000 cards and we're only using 100? Why? How? Because everyone now just cares about that progress metric of, well, I need to win. I need to do that climb. That's what matters. That's my fuel. And I'm like, what if it was just like, how could we learn how to use these other? What if there was actually better cards? What if there were actually cards that countered those? Yet no one actually explores them anymore at all. I'm not saying that they do, right? The problem is that the developers usually actually design it that those cards really are just the best. It's usually the case. And there's nothing you can do, because if you ever use anything else, I'm telling you guys, the balance is so off that you lose. Yet, what if that didn't matter to you anymore? What if you actually didn't care if you lost? People are like, what? Why wouldn't you? That's the whole point. That's the whole point of playing. No, it's not. What if you're now you've played it? You're like, I just want to explore all the cards. I want to just try things. I just want to see how they operate. I actually just want to see the power of them. I'm like, wow, this card is so weak in comparison. Like, why would they design this card so weak? I'm like, it's a cool card, but I'm like, why is it so weak? Like, what was the point of it? Like, why did they do that? Like, no one's gonna use it. It has so many downsides. Why would they do that? I'm like, there's nothing wrong with this card, but the problem is that what makes one card wrong is that the other ones are just too good. Do you guys get it? So the balance is off. When the balance is off, the only thing that's stopping each and every one of us is ourself. Is learning how to create self-limitations, is learning that we need to explore. But if we're never taught that, because that would be progress, right? I'm like, well, I'm just going to explore all these things. But I'm not saying, because remember I said, if the difficulty is there, you can't really explore anymore the same way. You have to use what you can. You have to. But most of the time in life, what you're going to all realize is it's not designed to the point where you have to use one set way. It's not. Almost nothing in life is. I'm telling you guys, if you really experiment it, almost nothing in life is designed to the way that we have to do one way. They make us focus on one ability and to maximize that one ability. It can be fun. I'm telling you guys, it can be fun once in a while to do so. You're like, okay, let's go all in. Let's try to add as much scaling and as much good things around this one strategy and see it play out. And you do it and you're like, wow, I was powerful. We just won. We just thrived. We just accomplished our storyline. But I'm like, there's more to that, guys. Why did that become our focus? Do you guys understand? Like, we were trying to create, evolve, experience new, and now we just cared about the win, because that's just a win is just fuel to keep trying. Do you guys get it? A win, a victory, it's just a progress metric. It's just fuel. Like, hey, keep exploring, keep walking, keep trying, keep going. Because if you have too many losses, most people like take that as a negative because that got installed in them, and then they're going to stop. I'm like, hey, no, just keep trying. Here's a win. You did good. Keep trying. Here's a win. Keep trying. Keep exploring. Keep creating new. Keep trying new things. Keep approaching things differently. But that we stopped doing that because they changed it, right? Now our focus is the one ability. What's going to get us the win? What is going to get us the win? What is going to get us the win? That's the only ability that we now care about, each and every one of us. Nothing else matters anymore. So there's no more exploration. There's no more trying in anything. This is how they do it in every single industry. This is how they weaponize progress, just so you guys know. First people start progressing and exploring, but then anything that has some, I call it like bench life, I guess you could call it. But I just think of it like World of Warcraft or like Final Fantasy Online. Those games got figured out, but the first expand, like, so everyone, if people don't even understand what they're doing, but everyone always is going back. Do you guys understand? They always go to the past to try to like recreate that feeling of like, why was the game so fun at first versus now? And they attack the game now when, if many ways, the game is better designed now than it was back then. I mean, it really is better designed. Like, they have figured out so many lessons. But the problem is everyone now is like stuck to the past, like, but no one can piece together or conceptualize what it is. And I'm saying back then it wasn't figured out yet. People were exploring, people were trying. Once the optimal got figured out and how to win got figured out, well, the game kind of lost its luster. I just think about like all those games when we were kids, right? Like when we were playing a game or when we were exploring something or an industry or whatever, we don't really know what's around the corner. Okay, guys? We don't really know what's around the corner. So everything is just new. Everything's like, whoa, that's possible. Like, that's so cool. Like, imagine if you guys have never seen a bird before and you finally see a bird, right? That feeling is what we all seek deep down, because that's new. That's called exploration. That's called moving forward. That's called progress. You're making progress. You're learning more about the world. And I'm saying, try it out, guys. That's why I keep pushing all of you to video games, because each thing's a whole new world. And when you're learning a new game, you're like, whoa, there's this. And like, what's this? And like, what's this? And what's this? Same thing with a movie, the same thing with a book. Like, it's learning new. Same thing like learning a new industry. So if you guys have been doing the same story for years, you're vulnerable. You're extremely vulnerable. You guys need to keep trying new things. And no, adding an AI in your industry is not a new thing. You guys could need to completely change your story, completely. So everyone's always like trying to go back, like, what was it back then? I'm telling you, World of Warcraft today, I don't play it, but I just see it. I watch it from afar. Like, they recreated, they call it like classic World of War. Restarted the game from the beginning. Do you guys understand? They restarted the game from the beginning, and people are replaying it. And I'm like, why would they do that? It's because people can't understand what it is. They don't realize that it's because they stopped exploring now in the present. They don't get it. They just can't piece it together. That they're getting baited to focus on the optimal. They're getting baited to focus on what matter. Like, there's no more strategy. They look for the win. They look for the fast. They look for what skips progress. And all the developers design around that. And this is every industry, by the way, guys, because they want more access. They want more people to consume it. So they're never going to make it more challenging. They're never going to get rid of the I win buttons. They're never going to force people to explore the way they used to. And you guys understand, then they go back to the past and they try re-exploring something again. But then they're like, it's not the same. Like, it's not that good. And it's because, well, guess what? They already know the answer, the best optimal path. So they go back there and they play the optimal way. And they're like, it's not the same. I'm like, well, yeah, because you already know. That's how they do it, guys. Like, they make you focused on one ability, on the win. Like, that's your metric, that's your fuel. And then, since that's how they destroyed everything, you guys get it. They weaponize progress by making you guys all care about more people consuming. And they ruin everything like that. Because we focus on the wrong thing then. It corrupts our focus. And that's how every single thing got corrupted. Because they baited all of us to just get more people to consume our stuff. So we make more power, we ease up access, we focus on the win buttons rather than everything. Progress metrics are just one skill in our story. All right. We've already touched on this, but I'm gonna reiterate. If we believe and focus on a number that can constantly change, I call it the never-ending climb. And that becomes our main story. Won't we never get there? Think about it, guys. If right now my main story was how many sips of water I can take on the stream, well, technically, I can always get more water, right? I can refill. Remember when I said, guys, if we can always refuel, how can we prevent the destination? Well, if I can always get more water, and my main story now is the never-ending climb of, well, how many sips of water can I take on the stream? Couldn't I just keep drinking water and be like, hold on, guys, I could even make excuses and justifications to get more water. I'm like, hold on, I want to be more focused for the next part. Let me refuel more water. Do you guys understand? The number keeps going up. The number keeps going up. So won't that delay anything else? Won't that destroy progress? And like, because now I'm not creating, now I'm not walking forward on this stream, on this video, guiding, educating, healing, teaching to do so. Now I'm actually just trying to create more situations where I can take another sip of water. Do you guys understand that this is how they do it to all of us? They attach our main story. This is how they weaponize progress. Because remember, it protects us. Because then we always move forward, we always explore, we always are creating new, we're always trying. So how can they destroy what protects us? By attaching it to a never-ending thing, something that can always increase, something that can always go higher, something that can always be improved. Because then I'm like, you can do better, you can do better, you can do better, you can do more, you can do another, you can take another sip. So at what point do you say that's enough? At what point do you just try? At what point do you then create again? If you're like, well, hold on, I can improve more things before I actually create. I think about it for some of you guys who are developers or designers or creators, video games, stories, movies, TV shows, things of that nature, art, any product. Especially if you've already released one, but then now you start getting access to more resources. You have more money, you have more developers, you have more knowledge, you have more tools. Think about your first creations versus your creations now. I think about it for anyone who's played The Legend of Zelda. They released Ocarina of Time on the Nintendo 64 and Majora's Mask like 1.5 years apart. And both of them are absolutely mind-blowing, incredible games still to this day. But back then, they completely redefined the industry. How is it possible that they were able to create something that had that level of impact, that level of design in such a short amount of time? And I mean, it's speed is not, I'm not grading them off of speed, but I'm saying they created full designs, unique wisdom. It was well designed. There was challenge. It respected the player. It was new. It had story. It had different approaches. It had and they did it in such a short amount of time. And they didn't sacrifice anything. And you're like, well, you don't know. I'm like, no, I'm really like, if you guys just take them for what they are, they didn't. But that slowly started changing. How is that possible? Yet today, I'm telling you guys, if they created an Ocarina of Time today, the Majora's Mask equivalent, so that the sequel would take maybe 6, 7, 8 years to release. And I'm saying it would be exactly the same. What changed? Do you guys understand? That means that their external metrics, their fuel, what they grade themselves off of, is different now. Because it's the never-ending climb, the number of like, well, the review scores from magazines and websites, How many people buy the game? Do we need to make it even easier? Do we need to like make the graphics shinier? Do we need to add in more, like make the music more mainstream? Like what is it that will get us more of that? Do you guys understand? Now they're not creating just to create a game that pushes things, that is a new experience, that develops things. Now it's about the metric. Now it's about they got baited to care about, we need to do things that get more people to consume our thing. Whereas at that time, it was just a bonus. You understand? They were so confident in their product and who they were and what they were doing that they didn't need that. But now they are designing around what is going to get them more consumption. And I challenge all of you to explore this. Every single thing that has anything that's ever been created goes through this. And I'm telling you, all of you fail at fighting back against it. And that's intentional. Because the moment you start fighting back against it, what you're going to realize is you defeat it. The next time you try, it starts coming back. They start trying to bring it back. They start trying to make you care about those things again. That means that you have to defeat it every single day. All of you think, I defeated it once, I'm good. I'm saying that's the bait. They're going to make you care about it again. The next time you release something, or the next time you make a little development, or next time you push something, let's say even for 1 week, you got convinced your company to believe in something and do things differently. You guys create one thing with on a light path of the belief, of progress, of exploration, of not caring about the optimal. Great. But then guess what? All of a sudden, everyone goes back home on the weekend, 2 days, and they get presented things. And then when they get back on Monday, everyone's back to the same things that they used to care about the external, about the win, about access, about consumption. That's just how they do it. And then all you have to defeat it again. But how can you? Especially if there's any person in a leadership position that's going to be like, we need more numbers. Then it's over. Do you guys understand? Because now there's fear involved. Now we're caring about money. Now we're caring about an external. Now we're caring about the never-ending climb. Like, we need. Do you guys understand what our competitors just did yesterday on the weekend? They worked on the weekend. What are you guys doing? We need more numbers right now. And all of a sudden, all creativity is gone. All exploration is gone. The progress metric, the fuel, is now exclusively about that. So that means you guys defeated it last week. Now you have to defeat it again. And no one's going to try because they're like, what? We already defeated this. Why would we have to do it again? And that's it. And it's over. And now the entire design is ruined, destroyed. It's a failure. It's horrible because it's not what it could have been. People are like, how can you say that about things? There have been great things that I'm like, no. If it's not what it could have been, it's ruined. It's that simple. It's ruined. The moment it becomes about getting as many people to consume it as possible, it's ruined completely. It's ruined. You're not creating for the main purpose anymore. Do you guys understand? I think about it. I'm going to call them out. Last of Us. It was an incredible video game story. They broke how the video game narrative was designed, and they did something that no other did, and they made people realize that it can be a vessel. Because, by the way, Final Fantasy has already been doing this for the longest time, RPGs. But then we'll get into Final Fantasy right after that. But Last of Us did this. And I'm telling you guys, they wanted more access. They wanted more people to consume it. And I'm saying everyone that I introduced that video game series to, The Last of Us, through a video game, was like, whoa, this is an incredible story. This is an incredible experience. It didn't need to become anything but a video game. Yet, think about every video game that has now become a TV series or a movie. All of a sudden now they think that is their worth. They think that is what determines change and gets more people to access it, to consume it. So now they think that they're a bigger deal. I'm like, why does that matter? Because they're told that it matters. Do you guys understand? It's installed in them. Now that becomes their fuel. So their fuel is, well, the commoners watch it. The commoners get access to it. Maybe they'll play it. I'm like, that doesn't matter. But when they now create for the TV series or the movie, they change it. In many ways, just to be frank with you guys, they dumb it down. because otherwise the other people wouldn't get it. And I'm telling you, they're wrong. They will. If they actually tried, if they gave those other people an opportunity to play the game, to play the video game and experience it, maybe just someone that could guide them, like, hey, have you guys tried this? And they're about to give up. They're like, I don't play games. And then they try it and they're like, wait a minute. This is actually really fun. This is really cool. This is a really good story here. Because they broke their chain, their string, their lock to like hating on video games, and they explored it. All of a sudden, now they realize like, wait, this is awesome. But you guys see, that means that the focus should have been on like, how can we get other people around them to introduce it to them or show them that it's not evil. They didn't need to make it a movie or a video game. Or sorry, a movie or a TV series. They didn't need to. But they thought that that's actually what matters. And because they did that, they actually were ruining their creation. Because now they cared more about that than just creating. You understand? They just kept creating, kept making more. I'm like, why isn't there a Last of Us 3, a Last of Us 4, a Last of Us 5? How much time did they spend on the movie, on like a TV series, on like do you guys get what I'm trying to say? They lose their original focus. And now it becomes about, well, we need to get more numbers. We need to get more access. We need to get more people to consume it. And the moment it becomes about that, it's ruined. Because now there's no more progress. Because you see, now the progress, now all their efforts, now all their focus is on how can we get more numbers? How can we get more people to consume? Now it's not about how can we improve our creation? How can we develop more? How can we create something exciting? How can we improve things? It's about how can we get more numbers so that we can get people to consume? Now, the only reason why they change anything, now the only reason why they improve anything, now the only reason why they modify anything is because they're trying to get more people to consume it. Do you guys understand that? That means that if they do develop a new game, if they do develop a new movie, if they now do develop a new TV series or write another book, it's how can we get more people to consume it rather than how can I even make this creation even better? How can I learn new things? How can I explore new things? How can I develop new things? How can I create new challenges for them to experience? How can I even push this further? They don't even try anymore. Do you guys understand? Because all the progress metrics, all they feel is about they got baited to care about more people consuming. It ruins every single creation. It ruins every single industry. And that's how they do it. Because before that, they cared about the progress. They're like, oh, I'm just going to keep improving my creation. I'm going to improve the game. I'm going to keep doing this. But then the moment they catch on that someone is becoming like that, they destroy them because they either make an event that makes them compare to other people, another company. Maybe they create a competitor company or someone else got more success. They're like, why did that company have so much success and we didn't? What did they do? So you see now they start trying to do that, and now they care about that. Maybe you guys create maybe you guys are like write posts or you write poems or you create songs or create drawings and you like just post it on YouTube or LinkedIn or Instagram, and your things get like one view, one like, and someone else that you know, maybe it's someone even that you know personally, they create something, you see like they use an AI and they're getting like 150, 200, 2,000. Like, well, what the fuck? Well, why am I creating my own thing? I need to do that too. You guys get, that's all they have to do. So then you're like, well, how can I get more like that? How can I do that? So now your entire focus, everything that fuels your path, everything that fuels you to keep progressing is now based on how can I get more people to consume? How can I get more people to consume? How can I get more people to consume? Every single step, every single path is that. Do you guys understand? So now we're not protected anymore. Now progress doesn't protect us. Now progress is actually the thing that is destroying us and baiting us to ruin all of our creations. I think about it like this. Final Fantasy 8, 7, 8, 9, and 10 were released from like 1998 to 2002. They released 4 games that many people still to this day consider are masterpieces. They're even remaking them now. Do you guys understand? Because they want more people to experience them because they were masterpieces. How is that possible that they were able to create? And I'm telling you guys, they were pushing the graphics, the audio, everything. They were developing every single thing. They were breaking the norms, pushing the limits, and making the creativity was out of this world. Not all of them were got the same feedback and the responses, but I'm telling you guys, it didn't stop them. They kept trying things. But then after that, they stopped because after that point, things changed because they tried to develop a movie. and it didn't get the feedback that they wanted. But you see, they wanted to improve the access, get more people to consume it, and now they started caring more about that, and it changed. But that it was like a 4 or 5 year time period that I'm telling you guys, search it. Square Enix, I think they were called Squaresoft back then. They changed. Company merger, all that stuff. You can study it, and you guys will see exactly this phenomenon that I'm talking about. What happened to you guys? I'm not saying that they're not a great company today still, and that they don't still push things and develop things, but it's not the same. They lost focus. They changed their focus. Do you guys understand? It's now more so about how can we get more people to consume it, more people to play it. And I'm like, why is that what matters? Why isn't it about just still creating these new experiences, these new stories, the best thing that you guys can possibly create? And the other things will just happen. It's because now they are basing it off of that reward, that external. Like, and what matters is the review. What matters is the money. What matters is how many people play. What matters is, you guys get it? That's how they do it. So now there's no more progress in the creation. And like, what is actually the reason? Why are you guys creating this? Why are you guys developing this? Are you guys trying to create a game to teach people lessons, a story that makes people realize how the world works? Or like maybe that kids today like believe more or explore more? Are you guys trying to create like what you guys see, like they don't even care about that anymore. It's completely lost, but they're going to say that that's the reason, but it's not anymore. It's all about consumption. How can we get more people to consume? How can we get more people to consume? That's it. It's all that matters. All their design decisions are now based on that. So think about why everyone's now prioritizing graphics and shiny things and things of that nature. I'm telling you guys, it happens in every single industry, every single one. Every single thing gets baited to focus on the wrong things. Because before that, when it's just its own thing, people actually care about progress, about the development, about the original purpose for it. But the moment they catch on that that's happening, they need to infiltrate to corrupt it. That's the never-ending climb. You guys understand? It can always keep changing. It can always keep improving. You can always go further. You can always get a better review. You can always get more money. You can always get more people to play. You can always, if that's your grade, it never ends. Do you guys understand? If that's your grade, if they put that grade there, we could always get more money. We could always have another customer. We can always have another person playing. We can always have another person watching. Well, that means that who decides when it's over? Because what if you get what someone originally said, like, well, let's get 1 million people. When we get to 1 million, I'm like, well, let's say we get to 1,000,002. That's our number. I'm going to tell you guys, I'm like, well, why did we limit ourselves to that? We could have probably done 1.5 million. That's all someone has to say to you. And you're going to be like, you're right. We could have done even more. And then what are you guys going to think? You're going to be like, well, if we would have made the graphics a little better, if we would have done a little bit more marketing, maybe if we hired another salesperson, maybe if we made the game a little easier, maybe if we did a better tutorial, maybe if we like, you guys, like you see everything now, the way your thought process is, what you think about is, how could I have got more people to consume? How could we have increased that number even more? The never-ending climb. I'm like, everyone who has a business, you're like, how could we have made a little more money this year? What could we have done? Do you guys understand? Maybe you started this business originally to do like help people. And I'm telling you guys, each and every one of you forgot. And that's intentional. Yeah, well, if only we would have adopted AI sooner. Like we got rid of 3 employees like that, and we saved so much money. And now all of that was just pure profit, and now we can reinvest that. And you know what, guys? I learned that there's a new AI thing that can completely get rid of the HR, and now we can do that too. I'm like, yes. Now that can even save more. I'm like, oh. I'm like, guys, at this point, really, we don't need even any employees anymore. It could just be the executive team and AI. This is awesome. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, didn't you guys originally create this so you could like solve like some problem the world is having? And now you're getting rid of the whole human element. And now you just care about the number. You care about the money, about the reward. You guys see how they do it. The moment they catch on that people are just progressing and creating and developing and improving something, they just have to attach it to a never-ending climb. Because at what point you guys say that's enough? At what point you like, well, we have enough money? I'm like, literally think about it, guys. I'm saying money doesn't matter at all. I'm saying anything that's a never-ending climb, anything that's an external, anything that's a number, anything that's a progress metric is completely useless. Other than fuel if you need it to keep going. I'm saying money is completely useless. The only value that money has is for the people who haven't defeated the things that they need as fuel to keep going. Why do you do what you do? Why is it that you try to help people? Why is it that you try to heal people? Why is it that you try to improve something? Why is it that you try to create something to teach or evolve? Most of you need something to fuel you to do so. And I'm saying the original purpose for money, for anything external, was meant only to help those people who need it. How can I get more people to want to like heal the world or to develop a vaccine or to help the poor or to write a book that could teach kids, hey, guys, it's about exploring. It's not about this. Or how can I get more guys to be nicer to their girls? Like I could write a book about that. Or how can I get more moms to realize, hey, you don't have to follow the norms of parenting. Well, I can create a TV series on that. You guys understand? Like originally, all those external metrics were meant to push people to create. It was just fuel. But then there's something in this world that weaponized it against all of you. And you all got baited, every single one of you. Because now you don't create because of that. You create for that. Do you guys understand? Like, you don't need it. And you guys now, that's your main focus. It's your main storyline, all of you, like the never ending climb. Like, I need more money. I need more viewers. I need more people consuming my stuff. I need more people to use our product. I need more. And I'm like, why? What? Isn't it just so that you have, like, imagine, like, it feels good, right? Hey, I created a product. People consumed it. It helped people, make people believe. And that helps me be like, I should keep going. I'm doing a great service. I'm helping the world evolve and improve. I'm going to keep going. But you understand, like that is just there as a positive reinforcement. Like, good job, keep going. Yet all of you made it your main storyline. All of you made it your main focus. And that was intentional by them. It destroys all creation. I'm telling you guys. If they can't do it through money, they can't do it through views, they can even do it through fear. Fear of losing out. What are you guys losing out on? What are you guys losing out on? More. If I don't do this, I'm going to lose out. If I don't make this decision, I'm going to lose out. If I don't create like this, I'm going to lose out. Do you guys understand? The fear of losing out. The fear that someone else is going to gain and you're going to lose. So let's conceptualize this through what I call the Nasus experiment. Imagine that each and every one of us is like a giant, okay? We're a giant on this earth, a mythical giant. And we arrived on this earth, and our sole purpose that we're told is, or we wake up and we don't really know what our purpose is, but we realize like, hey, whoa, on this right arm, I realized that if every time I grab like a leaf outside in the world, one leaf, I get more powerful. I'm like, whoa, every time I grab one leaf, I get more powerful. I'm like, interesting. That's what's like, it's almost like written on my hand right here. I'm like, if you grab one leaf, you gain power. I'm like, okay. And then I realized like over here, I'm like, you're very powerful at talking and you're also really good at whistling. I'm like, okay, I guess that's my and really good at walking. Like, those are my skills as a giant. So I'm like grabbing leaf, talking, whistling, and walking. But The only one that tells me that I get more powerful is if I grab a leaf. There's everything else doesn't say any benefit. I'm like, so what's the benefit of whistling? It doesn't say. It doesn't make me more powerful. What's the benefit of walking? It just says I'm good at it, but it doesn't say I can get more powerful doing it. What's the benefit of talking? It doesn't say. Okay, so those are just things that I can do, but they don't really give me more power. What would I naturally focus on, guys? I call this scaling. I think you guys all know this if you're in business. What do we focus on? Things that scale. How can we scale something? How can we scale something? I'm telling you guys, this is how they do it. So naturally, we focus on the areas of scaling. What scales? You scale on something that has a never-ending power curve, that can keep growing, that can keep improving. You guys get it? That's the area that normally we are baited to focus on. So let's go back to the Nasus experiment. The Nasus, think Nasus is a giant, okay? We're a Nasus. Each and every one of us is a Nasus. That's what the Nasus experiment is. So Nasus the giant wants to get more powerful because, well, hey, we just woke up on this earth and we realized, well, that's what matters, right? Because everything else doesn't scale, but this does. Grabbing leaves. So what should we do, guys? We look at the other Nasuses around us. I'm like, hey, I'm going to go outside right now and I'm going to go walk around and grab leaves. The other Nasuses are like, okay, well, hey, I'm just going to stay here right now. I'm going to try the whistle. I'm going to try the whistle path. Another one's like, I'm going to try the walk path. I'm going to sing. Or what is that? I'm going to talk. Sorry, I'm going to talk. Like, well, I'll see you guys. I'm going to go grab leaves. That's what tells me how you'll get more power. So I go outside and I go exploring. I'm just keep grabbing leaves. I'm like, whoa, every single time I grab a leaf, I get more powerful. Like whatever that feels for you, right? I'm like, wow, I actually feel more powerful. And then you like try it out. I'm like, wow, I can even grab a leaf easier now. Like it gets easier. I'm like, I can tell I'm getting more powerful. I'm getting more powerful. I'm getting more powerful. And as I'm doing that, do you guys understand? Like I completely forget about all the other Nasuses, all the other giants that were in the home base. Like I'm like, I can't even think about them anymore because now my entire focus is on I need to get more leaves. It makes me more powerful. It actually really does. I'm not saying it doesn't. It really does. All my focus is on that. So let's say like we had like telepathic communication with other Nasuses, other giants, and I'm still outside. Like it's getting dark. Like I've been outside the whole day. I'm just gathering the leaves. You guys get it? I'm just gathering more and more and more. And the other Nasuses are telepathically communicating, like, "Hey, can you please come back? We need help. Like we're under attack. Like we're having a battle here. Like we're trying to overcome a foe. Like some foes arrived and are challenging us, and there's a battle happening. We could use your power. We could use your help, right? We're using all our skills, but we need another person here to make it fair. Like let's say there's four of us, right? One's the whistle, one's the walking, one's the talking, and we were the leaf one. And they're like, come back, please. We need all of our focuses, all of our skills, all of our abilities. And I hear that and I'm like, what? Like what? I'm like, let's say some of you, if you're this Nasus who's gathering leaves and is having this overt success of realizing that your power is increasing, some of you might not even listen to them. Some of you might completely ignore them, like, these guys are fools. What? That's what they get for not joining me out here and grabbing more power, more leaves. Why are you see? See, I knew they were wrong. They should have listened to me. They should have followed my path and grabbed leaves. I'm so powerful now and safe out here. If they would have done the same thing, they would be that. They deserve the loss. That's one approach. Or the other one is I hear that and I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe I haven't lost yet my empathy. Hear what I'm saying? Maybe I haven't lost yet my care. Because that's what usually happens, right? We get baited to care about increasing the never-ending climb, the power, the scaling. So when that happens, our purpose, our storyline, maybe originally when we arrived here on this planet, on this earth, all the Nasuses just like woke up and like, our purpose is to help all the other giants, all the other Nasuses to win together. But then that's what we remember. That's where it started. But now when I saw that I could get more powerful by grabbing leaves, I forgot about that. Do you guys understand? It doesn't even enter my brain anymore. Like I'm a Nasus out there that forgot. I'm like, wait, what's the actual reason that we're playing this game? Well, we're trying to win. We're trying to survive and all work together and reach the promised land or whatever, right? And we have to do so by surviving 10 days or something. And when we woke up, we got that message, but we don't even remember it anymore. Like, I'm like, why am I playing this game right now? I'm playing it just to go outside and grab as many leaves as possible and become as powerful as possible. Wait, didn't we land on this earth to like evolve it, to explore, to develop? Nope. I'm just here to grab as many leaves as possible for myself and become as powerful as possible. Do you guys see when we start focusing on the scaling, when we start focusing on a consumption thing, all of a sudden we are made to forget why we originally were doing it. We are made to forget why we were originally were doing it. Like, what? No, the only reason is to get more leaves. And I'm like, what? You didn't even know that that was what mattered when we first got here. But then you read all your abilities and you realize, wait, no, the leaf is what matters. I'm like, why? That's not what actually matters. But I challenge all of you to explore this. This happens to all of us. Anything that has the scaling, anything that has a never-ending climb, a number, a progress metric. Remember what I said, guys? It's just fuel. It was just fuel to keep the Nasus going. I'm like, hey, in between, like every day, everyone should explore a little bit, get more experience, grab a few leaves while you're out there, but then come back. You're not going out there only to get leaves, but when you go out there, you grab a few. Hey, I got like 20, I got 15, I got 50. But I went out there and I spent the whole day out there and I have like 500. I'm extremely powerful. But imagine you guys call for help and you're like, can you please come back? We need your help to defeat these foes that arrived. And I tell you guys, if I care still, many of us will not care anymore. We're like, you guys are doing it wrong. You should have been grabbing leaves. It's your fault. But let's say that doesn't happen. Let's say we actually preserved our original purpose somehow. Well, I'm going to say to you guys telepathically back, I'm like, guys, I'm going to return soon, but I'm still collecting leaves. There's so many leaves right here. There's about another 100 that I can grab to get more powerful. When I get back after 100 leaves, I'm going to have 600 power from leaves. When I get back with that, we're going to win. Don't worry. When I get back after another 100, we'll win. I'll be so powerful. You guys will see. And then you're going to be all do the same thing. You're going to collect leaves. Just hold on, guys, till I get there. Just a little bit more time. I'll be back soon. You guys got this. And they're like, oh my gosh, we can't. There's no, like, we're about to like lose. Like the foe is like breaching our gates. They're right here. I'm like, we're gonna lose, guys. But I'm just like, another leaf, another leaf, another leaf. I'm getting stronger. I'm winning. I'm thriving. Another leaf, another leaf. And everyone else is losing. Everyone else is getting drained. Everyone else is having all these problems. Another leaf, another leaf. Does this sound like anyone, guys? Any big corporation, any big CEO, any big executive? Another leaf, another product sold, another product sold, another money, another money, another like, another follower. Okay. Should we return? There's still more leaves over there. Should I just keep walking that path? I did tell them I was going to return. Okay. We have 800 leaves now. I stayed a little extra time than I thought, but we have 800 leaves now. Let's go back. Okay. Let me return. We get back, we're like, whoa, everything's on fire. Everything's burning. Everything's like destroyed. I'm like, oh my gosh. Sorry, this is going to be a little dramatic, but I'm like, there's literally a Nasus, a giant on the ground. I'm like, oh, you return. Please save the day. And they literally like die in front of us. You're like, what the? Like, what? What happened here? I told them to hold on. And then all of a sudden, the foe arrives. Like, there's like maybe like one foe left. Because like there was right, it was a 4 versus 4, and there's only one left, and they're like trying to like destroy our base, our castle, our home, whatever it is. And you just see them, you're like, you, how dare you invade this area? And they use their leaf power, and they destroy the enemy like nothing. Like, can't believe they thought they could get away with this. Do they know my power? I have 800 leaves. Then you look around, and everything is destroyed. Everything's on fire. Everything's ruined. There's no other Nasus left. They all died. They all lost. They all are gone. Everything. You're like, how did I lose everything? What? You're like, they're like, what the fuck? Like, oh, if only I had another 100 leaves, then this wouldn't have happened. Or if the others would have gone with me to gather leaves and gain power, none of this would have happened. See? They don't know the answer. It's all about gaining more power, more scaling, more money, more numbers, the never-ending climb. That's one approach. Or the other approach is they're like, no. Why did I gather so many leaves? Why didn't I just return? I didn't even need, like, I could have defeated that enemy with 200 leaves. Why did I need 800? We lost because I spent all that time gathering 600 unnecessary leaves. What? I lost this can't be happening. You guys understand that they create a scenario for all of us that attaches it to a never-ending climb, something that can always give us more power. And I challenge each and every one of you. The Nasus experiment is based on a video game, League of Legends. There's a champion that you can play in that game called Nasus, and he has infinite scaling option, where every time he defeats something, he gains power. And I'm telling you, if you watch any player who plays that champion, 9 out of 10 of them, I would say, if not 10 out of 10, all get consumed. I'm like, hey, join us. Play with us. Join us in the main battlefield. And they're like, soon, I'm gaining power. Just hold on a little bit. I'm gaining power. I'm gaining power. And most of the time, what ends up happening is the team that has that champion loses because they're so focused on their own gaining their own power, on their scaling, that they don't realize that if they just joined in earlier, that they could be beneficial and they're helpful regardless. Do you guys understand? That scaling, that never-ending climb, that number, that progress metric is a bonus. That's what makes the champion even, or that hero or that giant, the Nasus, that's what makes us more powerful over time. But you guys get it? It wasn't meant to be the main focus. It never was meant to be the main focus. We all get baited when we see that. I'm like, ooh, scaling, that's what matters. And I'm like, no, it's a bonus. It's a bonus. You guys understand? Anyone who consumes our stuff is a bonus. Anyone who buys our product, we're trying to move away from money, but I just want people to understand it because that's where they're at right now. Anyone who buys your product, it's a bonus. Anyone who ends up watching your stuff, anyone who consumes your stuff, anyone who experiences your creation, it's a bonus. Yes, it's the scaling. Yes, it's power. Yes, think about money, guys. Home, possessions, material, anything. You guys understand? All of that is it's just a bonus. It's just fuel to keep going. The Nasus experiment is proof that anytime you present infinite scaling, a never-ending climb to someone, people always get lost. I'm saying that do you guys understand that if it's 1% more powerful than it was before, that's a bonus. There's no downside to it. That means that just by playing normally, just by experiencing life normally, just by climbing normally, do you guys get it? That you're going to experience everything. You're going to be more powerful. You're going to gain benefits. You don't have to do anything special. You're going to see the entire world. I challenge this for each and every one of you. If you guys just focused on creating, you guys just focused on always evolving, always exploring, always doing new for yourself, and the benefit of others is it's going to happen. And you're not now deviating your creations for others, and you don't care about getting others to consume. I'm telling you guys that everything is going to just land. It's going to fit. Everything is going to just fit perfectly, and it's just going to make sense. And it's just going to work out. Maybe not in the way you guys think, because you were baited to believe that what matters is the external, right? The grade. Well, what matters is how many leaves you have as the Nasus, the giant. But I'm telling you guys that doesn't matter. It's a bonus. They weaponize progress by attaching it to a never-ending scaling. So at what point will you guys ever say, that's enough? That's sufficient. You can always do more. You can always do more in everything. This is really good. All right, let's finish up. I'm going to just take a 1 minute break, and then we're going to do our last push. Let's do this. Okay, last push. Could learning, how far until we can't, be the solution? How far can you guys go? How far can you go until you need something? Let's teleport back. How far can we walk trying to get to the ocean, to the waves, until we can't? At what point do we there's the sand is just too warm, it burns us, we have to go back? Or think about, like, you're trying to reach a certain point in the ocean. At what point does it get too deep that we can't stand anymore? And we have to start floating. At what point is that? That is the point when we need a tool. That is the point when we need to deviate. That is the point when we need to upgrade. That is the point when we need to modify, create, add a new progress thing. Do you guys understand? It's that point when we need to. Can we do so beforehand? Yes. But you guys understand that if you do so before you actually need to, right? How far can I go till I can't? What ends up happening is that you miss out on the lessons that you would have experienced or encountered if you waited. It means that when you really explore what I just said, guys, what you're going to understand is you get trapped. You create your own prison in a way, because you realize that at any point, if you upgrade anything, just so you guys understand, anything could even be, just so you guys understand, I am having a German pastry right now. Even just eating this right now is removing a limit from myself. Doing so is deviating a little bit my own lessons, my own experiences, because it's making it a little easier. It gets that complex, so we can get lost. It's not easy then, because you're like, if at any point I upgrade, if at any point I care about an external progress metric, fuel, to make me keep going when I don't need it, I'm deviating my path. I'm changing the lessons that I would experience. It really does change things, guys. But you guys see, all of a sudden now, our focus is on, I might be missing out on lessons. My creation might not get to the same point as it would have if I would have not upgraded. You guys see, our entire focus, or why we're doing it, is now different. We can now remember, what's the purpose? Hey, why did we actually arrive on this earth as a Nasus, as a giant? What was it that we were sent here to do? You guys understand? We can still remember it, and then we can support it by being like, well, we're trying to develop, we're trying to explore, we're trying to evolve. I'm trying to get as many lessons as possible. So I don't want to make things too easy. I don't want to upgrade before I have to. As we start practicing that, we start eventually realizing, like, wait a minute, I can ease it up a little bit. You know what? Yeah, I lost out on some lessons by eating this this German cake, but it's okay. It is. Now, if I become reliant on it and always use it, then I'm going to lose out on things. But you guys understand that it's almost like think of it like a protection. A dam, a barrier that blocks the wave that's about to hit us right here. We're right under the owl. And every time, because now we're focused on, like, should I or should I not? eat this German cake right now that's going to make things easier? Should I drink some coffee right now that makes me have more energy to keep going? Should I? Do you guys understand that when we create that for ourselves, it protects us? Because before that, each and every one of us gets suggested that we should now focus on the progress, on getting more people on the external metric as fuel, that should be our main focus. Hey, get more people to consume it. Hey, use AI. Hey, go after more money. Hey, try to get more views. Hey, try to get more of this. Try to get more power. They bait us to focus on that. Like, hey, you should use the best things. Hey, you should do this. Hey, what matters is the wins. Hey, what matters is the validation. Hey, what matters is the praise. When we realize that there's certain tools, certain abilities that we could use that makes things easier, if we can keep those near us and once in a while use them and once in a while not, because we also understand that now they rob us of lessons. But that's okay, because think about it. If 99% of the time we're getting all these lessons and 1% of the time we don't, well, that's fine. You guys, even at 5%, even 10%, even 20% is fine. Anything is fine, really. But you guys get it. Just having that present, that, wait a minute, should I? Should I make it easier right now? Should we? I mean, yeah, we can. Protects us, because now every single time it gets suggested to us, I'm like, you should create today based on other people. You should try to get as many people to watch your things today as possible. I'm like, should I? Is that really what matters? You guys should develop your next video game, your next movie, your next book based on the commoners who don't actually care about what you're trying to get across, the message or the lessons. You want to make it develop for the lowest common denominator, so as many people access it as possible. Make it easy, make it simple, make it no complexities. Do it. And you're like, wait a minute, why does that matter? You guys see, like, when we have that, when we're like, well, if I do that, you can just use AI right now to create a map in this video game that takes 5 seconds, and then they don't care anymore. The new people don't understand it anyway, so you can make a game faster like this. Or just use an AI to write a chapter in your book. They won't even know the difference. And you're like, yeah, I should. I'm like, no, wait a minute. I'm like, why? What? Why am I originally creating? What's the purpose of me creating, of exploring, of evolving, of trying to do this? You see, like, when we create that roadblock, that self-limitation, some kind of thing that's like our own challenge, our own scenario. Do you guys see that? Our own self-limitation. We define the experience. We define the win criteria. So at any point, if they're trying to get us back to that, you're like, hey, you should care about how many people are consuming it. You should care about how much money you're earning from this. You should care about that stuff. That doesn't mean that sometimes you won't be like, yeah, I probably should, because I'm telling you guys, what you are going to start realizing is that they change how they do it. Sometimes at first it's just like, well, you should do so because that's what matters. Once you defeat that, all of a sudden you notice it changes. They're like, why should you get more people to play your video game? Well, because you are improving the entire video game industry. You're making people realize video games can be art, a story. Oh, yeah, I should definitely get more of the mainstream audience. Yeah, because I'm the one who's changing video games reception. You guys see, like, if they can't bait you just through the external to like dumb it down, to make it easier, to make it change how you create for consumption, they're going to start baiting it to like higher purpose things. I'm telling you for myself, they try to be like, I thought you cared about healing people. I thought you cared about freeing people. I thought you cared about helping people realize who they really are and their worth. You need more people to consume your stuff. You guys see, like, that's how they were baiting me to change my creations and my focus. I'm saying they don't even use money anymore. They try, but they barely do anymore. You guys understand the way they were baiting me to try to care about consumption is by attaching it that is the only way that people are going to heal and change. And could it be true? Yeah. But do you guys understand that that's not why I originally was creating? I'm saying, what if I create that and then down the road I can slowly get more people? But do you guys see it? They were making me not think about that. You guys need to catch this. So when you say, how far can I go till I can't? I'm like, is basically thinking like you're removing your fuel. And then when you actually need it, like I could use some fuel right now. I could use some sugar from a good German pastry right now, just to have a little more energy for this push. Okay, well, let's have some right now, and then we get some. But what if before I even, like, I just had 10 pieces of German pastry cake right in front of me right now, before I even started this stream and video? Do I actually need all 10? I never even considered or explored if I needed them. You guys understand? I just up front gave myself 10 of them, and then I used all 10 because I had access to it. Do you guys get how it's done? I'm like, how did I even know I needed that? I didn't even give myself an opportunity to explore anymore. Do you guys see? Yeah, be careful though, guys, right? Because when we push ourselves too much, there's risk of corruption. Because if we're just always failing, then they're going to start showing us other things that are winning. And they're like, why am I failing? Why am I losing? Well, then you start seeing what's winning, and then you're going to try to do that. So you have to remember why you're doing it. Why am I trying to push myself? Why am I trying to see how far can I go before I need shoes to get to the ocean? Why am I doing it? I'm like, oh, I'm trying to evolve this. I'm trying to explore this. Well, then that keeps you on the right track. But I'm telling you, they're going to make you, all of a sudden, people are going to walk by and like, or maybe they're going to try to bait your girl. Okay. But anyway, let's move on. So what's next? How could we invalidate fuel? Is there a risk behind that? They're good. If we came to invalidate fuel, as we learn how to get to a destination without it, we don't need fuel anymore. What's the problem there, guys? What's the problem? Think back to the Nasus, the giant. The fuel for that Nasus are the leaves. If the Nasuses learn that they don't need the leaves, they're just a bonus. They can defend their base, their home. They can explore the world. They can evolve it without it. Doesn't it create a situation then where they might not actually go outside anymore to get leaves? It does. And that's actually the correct play. Do you guys understand? Because now they don't need it. But what you're going to come to realize, guys, is if we don't need something, it's a bonus. We can always choose when we get it. If something's properly designed in such a way, there's no need, there's no requirement. It means that we can go outside and get the leaves whenever. But they're just there as a bonus to keep us exploring. Because why wouldn't we want to explore? Do you guys get it? Do you guys understand that? But invalidating fuel is a risk. Invalidating fuel is a risk for most of us. Because then we won't do anymore. We won't try anymore. Like, we won't explore different paths because, well, I don't need it, so why would I ever even use it? I'm telling all of you, it's better to have that view than the opposite. Yet, what you're going to come to realize is, like we said, at what point can I add it back in by choice? Because now I don't need it. That means that you can today, hey, my fellow Nasuses, hello, my fellow giants. Today, I'm going to explore for a little bit to gather leaves to see what this experience is. And they are like, we don't need it. I'm like, I know, but let's explore it. How about we each get to explore for 1 hour a day what the leaf path is? You don't have to gather any. You can, or you cannot. And let's see. Let's just all test it out. Let's experiment. And everyone's like, okay. Some might be like, wow, I kind of want to get more leaves now. Like, oh, be careful. Remember what we said? We don't need it. You're right. You're right. But you guys see, like, now we're all exploring it a little bit and seeing, like, oh, wow, actually, when we go from 5 leaves to 20, there's a humongous power spike. But actually, after 20, it doesn't matter that much. So maybe we should all just try to get 20 a day, and that's it. And that doesn't take a lot of time. You guys see, like, we've invalidated fuel. We don't need the leaves anymore, but we found a way to still make them a bonus that helps us keep going. Now we have a reason to explore outside and explore different paths and see what's out there, but we're not controlled by it anymore. And I'm saying that's what we all need to get to, guys, in everything, because it's going to get to a point where I'm like, well, maybe I just do this one thing to get people to consume our stuff more, see it more, right? Like maybe I just share it here or do this, and we'll figure that out. We'll get to that. But each and every one of us will do that. I'm like, well, maybe, hey, we just created the video game. Maybe we just release it to this one company that tells people what new game is released, and that's it. And that's the only thing we do. You guys understand? Like, that means you didn't completely invalidate the fuel, but 99% of it you did. But it's still there a little bit. But it's just a bonus. I'm like, hey, cool, guys. I'm like, maybe we check once a week. You're like, how are we doing? I'm like, oh, wow. More people playing it. That's awesome. That's really cool. Let's keep developing, guys. Let's keep creating. You guys see, you're not chained to it anymore. You're not tied to it. It's just a little bonus once in a while. It's like, yay, that's cool. That's what we need to get to. This is as a quick example. Just think of it like this, guys. If I could give you a teleportation spell, a portal that you can walk through that can get you to any location, or you can use a horse to get there, but you have to feed the horse. But now you're going to see an entire journey. Or you can just take the teleportation portal that gets you there immediately. Most of us are going to choose the teleportation portal, even if it's just to save time, to save resources. Think about it. Now we're not at risk of what are we going to encounter on the journey? Problems. We have to feed the horse. We have to maintain the horse. You guys get it? Just think of it like that. The risk of invalidating fuel is also that we can choose the easier path. But if you understand that you're self-creating your own challenges, your own situations, then it doesn't matter that you invalidate fuel. Do you guys understand? That's where I'm heading right now. That's the answer. So how can we prevent the risk of invalidating fuel? By creating our own challenges, our own situations to experience, to overcome. Because if you do so, you're protected. I'm like, well, let's explore with this horse right now. We create the scenarios, we create the situations that we're going to deal with. We know why we're doing it. Do you guys understand? I call this creating our own key battles, creating our own story chapters. What if today I'm like, it was the Nasus example, which is where, hey, let's go out and gather 20 leaves. That's what matters. That's what we're going to create. Everyone needs to try to figure out how they can gather 20 leaves a day. Maybe you don't actually want to go outside and you figure out, hey, I can do a trade system with people. I'm like, you enjoy going outside, gathering 40 leaves. Hey, can you gather 20 of mine and I'll trade you something? You guys get it? Like all of a sudden it becomes a something to figure out, a key battle. I call it a key battle, right? Because it's like, it's a story. It's something like, how are we each going to figure this part out? How are we each going to figure out how we can like solve that fuel issue? What is it that we're going to do that can do that? How can we create a scenario that does that? All right, well, how can I explore the world with my horse, but I don't want to spend time gathering carrots to do so? Well, what can I do to do that? What challenges can I create for myself to learn the lessons to make that happen? Do you guys get it? That you create your own barriers, so then it doesn't matter what they present to you, it doesn't matter what they do. You're creating the story, you're creating the encounter, you're creating the limits, you're creating the situation that lets you develop this. Well, hey, I'm going to walk one path a day with my horse. no matter what. Then I can use the teleportation portal, but I'm going to do that because understand you are creating that. You are deciding that. It doesn't matter what they present. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter if it makes it more challenging or easier. You create that. They can't do anything about that. That's what this is. Just so you guys know, this entire stream, this entire video is me choosing to walk with the horse right now, despite anything else. This is just purely for myself to develop something and to create something further and to explain something, to piece it together. I've already done it throughout this entire thing, but I really just broke it down in depth. That's all this was. But I created my own battle. This is the key, right? This is my own story chapter. And now that we're finishing here, like this is the conclusion. This is it. You guys understand? I finished. I completed what I set out to do. So I'm telling you guys, everything else is just a small bonus. Whatever comes from this is just a small bonus. Do you guys understand? But the challenge with this approach is, how can we identify when we're doing a key battle, when we're creating something, our own situation? It's not easy because I think when we are developing something, like we get lost because most of the time we grade ourselves on the end result. So when something is finished, so for example, for myself, this is pretty easy, right? At this point now, because I'm like, okay, now we're almost finished. We're about to finish. Okay, this is the end. Yet there was things that led up to this, that let me create this. I didn't grade those things as key points in the story or in the battle that let me create this. Yet they did. Now I can piece back some of them that happened already a few days ago that led up to this. Yet in that moment, I didn't see them as that. Do you guys get it? That's the danger. That's the struggle. That's the only problem with this approach that solves our reliance on creating for others or for so more people consume it, is that we choose, we get to decide what are the key battles. And for many people, it's almost like a disappointing answer in a way. You're like, wait a minute. So that means that now I get to choose what matters and what doesn't. I'm like, isn't that awesome? For some people, that's disappointing because we like knowing that like we're solving the puzzle. We are choosing the correct upgrades. We're choosing the correct path. Like when something happens, like you go right or left. Like right is the correct answer. So if you went left, you made a mistake. Okay, learn from your mistake. Next time it happens, you go right. Many of us like that in games and stories and in movies and whatever. Like it's just you like to know that hey, you learned the lesson, right? We enjoy that. That's called progress. But I'm saying that's the bait, guys. When you can create your own, you're like, hey, I'm going to create my own fork in the road, my own split, my own cross path situation. I get to decide now when that happens. At any point, I get to decide, do I go right or left? And I get to decide when that happens. That means that I don't need an event to occur. I don't need bad or good to occur to make that happen. I decide when that happens. That's the benefit of creating your own situations, of your own creations, and not doing for the consumption of others. I get to decide. So what actually matters here, right, guys? The answer is we create progress. And how can I measure that? How can I identify that? I'm the one who's attaching the meaning to it. The culmination of this video, this stream, all this is progress. This is how I'm measuring it. Do you guys understand? This is my fuel. That means that it doesn't matter how many people watch it. It doesn't matter what happens from it. My fuel that is going to keep me going is knowing that I created this. That means that I can do this tomorrow, or I can wait another day or 2 or 3 or 4. But every time I create this, this is my check-in. This is my, okay, I learned the lesson, or I did this, and this is how I win. Do you guys understand? I don't need anything else anymore. There's no other fuel that's necessary. Anything else that happens from this, anything, good or bad, is exclusively a bonus. It's not necessary. You understand? I removed all fuel. I invalidated all the fuel, but I created my own fuel, my own resource. It's, can I create a new creation that figures out something and talks about something that I enjoy, that I think is fun, that I think is funny, but also I think is extremely informative, that I can rewatch for myself, that doesn't have path starters that consumes me on a dark path. That's what I created today. And I believe that if anyone consumes this and watches this, they're going to learn so much. But no one might. There's a really good chance that no one might. Yet I'm telling you guys, it's still my fuel. So that means if I rewatch this tomorrow, I'm going to have fuel to do this again. Despite anything else that comes from this, and no external matters. You guys hear what I'm saying? No external matters because I'm creating meaning. I'm creating progress. This is my fuel. Not the result, not the reward, not the never-ending climb, not the optimal, not the change, not the worth, not the addicted to it. It's just, can I create something like this? It's binary. It's a check mark, and I can, and I can't wait to do it again. So let's finish up. You guys heard my thoughts. These are my thoughts on is trying to get others to consume the bait. Now you guys see, it gets us focused on the fuel versus the end. That's what all of this was trying to get across, guys. You see, the entire time we just all get baited to focus on the progress metrics, the fuel. I'm telling you guys, it's so weird if you think about it, but we end up spending energy and time, which isn't that essentially what fuel really is? Energy and time to get more fuel. We're spending fuel to get more fuel. So we're spending energy and time to like consume, get people to play, get people to buy, get people to watch. So we can get more of that. I'm telling you guys, it's the bait of progress versus actual progress. And they do it through the fuel, the progress metrics. I'm telling you guys, the question to figure it all out is, can I achieve without fuel? If I can, isn't it 100%? Isn't focusing 100% on the fuel a bait? If you can achieve, like, if I can do this stream and video without knowing how many people consume it, isn't focusing on that the bait? Do you guys get it? I'm telling you guys, we can make a journey more enjoyable if we do it as like a revolving bonus, right? Think about the leaf example. Like if once in a while we collect some leaves and like, hey, this time can we collect leaves in 30 minutes? This time can we see how many leaves we can collect in 1 hour? Like you see like little self-created challenges and limits to make it fun, just to try new things and experience new things. Right? It changes our battle, it changes our journey just a little bit. Like, hey, what can we do today? Let's add some upgrades today. Let's make it a little easier today. Let's make it a little more challenging today. Let's try this. But you guys see, it's almost like a self-created storyline that we do every day. I'm like, hey, today, can we try to only do a 1 hour stream and then maybe write like 2 comments about it? We shouldn't get baited to do that, but could we? Right? Like you guys see, like you just, if you know why you're doing it once in a while, it's okay, but you're going to notice that then you're immediately going to get starting to get baited back to that path. That's real. If you see that the journey is always forward. You're not worried about propping up the existing so much, because that is the bait. I'm like, okay, now that I created this, guys, if I now spend 1 month just breaking this down and keep pushing this, that's the bait. I'm not creating anymore. Do you guys understand? I'm worried more about people consuming this than moving forward. It's just, it doesn't matter, guys. Don't worry about the fuel. Don't worry about it. You just try, just do, just create. You decide. You create your progress. You create the meaning. I'm telling you guys. Once you realize how far can we go, you realize the progress metrics are a bait. All right, guys. That's all.